Friends, if you're looking for real old school laughs, you're in for a treat because we've got them right here. Flip City Magazine. Remember MEAD magazine? Then it went woke? Well, don't worry. Flip City has no chance of going woke. That's right. 4 times a year, you'll get an actual printed magazine full of jokes, stories, comics, and more, all about today's pop culture, entertainment, and woke politics. Flip City takes terrible entertainment trends we love to hate with hilarious parodies of Lord of the Rings, Stranger Things, The Walking Dead, Star Trek, Hunters, and more. Trust me when I say there is nothing else like Flip City on the market. So subscribe today. It will be delivered in print, or you can even get it digitally if you're one of those wacky Zoomers. Either way, follow our link and sign up today, and if you put in midnight, you get an extra 10% off. Check out Flip City Magazine today.
Ho, 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 bro.
Welcome, everybody, to your favorite program here on Midnight's Edge, After Dark. It's time for the show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How's everybody doing? We've got with us tonight Mr. Nick Weiser. How you doing?
Hey. I'm happy to talk about Christmas tier lists. This is going to be a fun episode. It's a slow news day, like the type of tumbleweed slow, but it's too cold for tumbleweed to come out. So I guess we'll just say snow tumbleweed to come around. But I'm happy to talk about this tier list. How's it going, Tom?
It's gooing. It's gooing. How are you doing, CC Karaoke in Canada?
I'm doing all right. Was not expecting this show topic, but I'm excited for it. I want to see more of this happen in the future, actually.
Well, we might actually be seeing more revamping of things, because part of the problem with Midnight's Edge After Dark, having a show every 2 nights and us doing the morning show, is there's a little too much overlap in the stories.
Yep.
So we're going to, we'll still do some of this typical thing on certain Tuesdays and Thursdays, but we're going to try and shake it up a little bit. Obviously the bigger stories we'll probably discuss here and there, but try and bring in some other stories and other topics and other things that we can discuss that aren't necessarily what everybody else is talking about. And hopefully you guys enjoy that. I know the top 5 shit list was something that you guys loved and kept requesting it be brought back. The problem with it is that it took a lot of work behind the scenes to put together every week. And sometimes it was difficult to put panels together on top of it all. And yeah, so this I think might be something that'll replace that. So tonight we're going to do this and see how it rolls. And then from here on out, we'll see if maybe we can do a different show where we're doing tier lists instead of the top 5 shows instead, because it might be a little easier to do. But with that, we also have with us back again another Canadian Scot who claims he's Korean on top of it all, Brian, aka that 70s rock fan.
Indeed. And Annyeonghaseyo to you all. Good evening, and can I just say that I do wish joy to the world, and I wish you all a ho 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 Christmas.
Joy to the world to all the boys and girls.
That's right. Joy to
the fishies in the deep blue sea.
That's the one. So, yes, great to be back. So I do love this kind of stuff. We all love lists, don't we? I can see in the chat already oodles of excitement. People picking favorites, and there will be arguments, and then there will be.
I think
"Oh,
there will
you-"
be arguments.
Yes, and then you forgot about this one type things. So yeah.
Yes. Well, as you see here, we've got 80, I think 5 or so movies and specials. I accidentally put Elf twice, but I think that's the only one we got doubled up here.
No, you didn't,
Otherwise, I think
Tom.
we're
It's
good.
Elf and the director's cut of Elf.
Yeah.
Don't
So we'll
ever
just
admit
forget
to a
one of them.
mistake.
Yeah, who cares? But hey, considering I don't think that's bad, and considering how many titles, so we're gonna have to go through this. We're not gonna be able to discuss them all. We'll be able to debate a little bit here and there, but we'll probably have to take a vote of the most votes wins the tier. And then if we really can't come to a conclusion, we'll give it up to you guys out there in the chat, and we'll do a poll out there. But yeah, so
have we got ground rules? Are we ranking these on their efficiency as a Christmas movie or just as a movie overall? Because they may differ. Those two rankings.
that's a good question. I don't think there's enough of the former to do that kind of a list. So I think it's just
Stick to one
pretty
number.
much just kind of like what ones you like best, what ones you don't
Yeah.
like, because otherwise we'll be here all day long arguing over Lethal Weapon. And
That's
shit.
right. I was just immediately I was thinking Lethal Weapon. S-tier
But although I
movie.
might add one more here, because you said Invasion USA. I think I
Invasion
can add that
USA
one.
is a Christmas movie. That's true. Chuck Norris saves Christmas.
Why not? I
If
think
you're
we
in a
can add that
particular
one.
mall in Florida, he saves Christmas.
It's true. So we'll add that one here real quick while I'm doing that.
Why not? It's fun.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do that real quick.
So
And we'll say hello to everybody out in the chat.
We're just
ahead.
doing
Oh, I haven't seen
ranking on
Cocoon.
greatness.
Is that on the list?
Cocoon? Is it
But
that
is
one
it
take place during
purely a
Christmas?
movie though? Is it purely Christmas? Isn't it?
I
set
don't
over a
remember that
period
one
of time?
taking place during Christmas.
All right, I'm already doing it. We're into that argument. What counts?
That's
what
what
doesn't
I just
count.
don't remember Cocoon having to do anything with Christmas. That's what I'm asking. We're thinking of the same Cocoon or a different Cocoon? I'm thinking of the Brian Dennehy, Steve
Yes,
Guttenberg,
Wilford
aliens in the
Brimley.
fucking pool.
Wilford Brimley.
Like,
yeah.
I don't remember that being taking place at Christmas, does it?
I think it was over a period of time, so maybe there was a
Maybe?
Christmas section.
Okay, like,
to it.
CC is the one it's your argument here.
I was just seeing it in the chat, and I was like, yeah, well,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
But it's
All right,
Florida,
well, then never
so it's
mind.
hard to tell if it's
we could be
Christmas.
splitting hairs, though.
True. All right, well, I don't have any super chats or member chats to get started with, but we will address those. So if you guys bring up any topics in those, we will talk about those. I was going to get to those before we get into the list, in case there was any. Cocoon was a whole year. Okay.
Yeah, it
I don't
wasn't just in
remember.
one.
So technically, it counts.
Yeah, it's kind of like with First Blood. I had to kind of make an executive decision. It's like, yeah, even though it takes place over Christmas, it has absolutely nothing to do with
To
Christmas.
do with it at all. Yeah, I agree. It does not need to be in the list. As much as I love that movie, doesn't need to be there.
If Cocoon's included, then just about every movie that had a period of time in it that included Christmas would be in the list.
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, you could. And actually, there is one movie that kind of got adopted as a Christmas film that's kind of like that in the list, and we'll get to that. But that being said, like, yeah, no, I had to make an executive decision on that one.
Indeed.
Because I'm like, yeah, if Rambo would have started out the film going, yeah, I'm looking for my friend Dilmore, and it's Christmas. I thought we'd spend the holidays together. Then maybe.
I'll give it to Sander on this one, Life of Brian, because I don't really watch it and think, oh, this is Christmas, but it is Christmas.
Any movie that features the
It's like the
birth of
literal.
Christ would theoretically be a Christmas movie.
That was the other thing, is I left off any of those religious, because we'd be here all fucking day.
Well,
Because the Nativity Story from 2006 is probably the most popular of those. And then I'm like looking at all of the rest of them. I'm like, we'll be here till fucking Sunday.
Well,
if I
we've
put
already
all-
been here 20 minutes and we haven't ranked
Yeah,
the
see,
movie.
exactly. That's just it. So let's get rolling
10
here. And
minutes,
if
10
you guys
minutes.
throw in some super chats in the meantime, we'll pause here and there. But let's get started, guys. So we're going to get started on this because we only got Brian for about an hour. I think Mikey's going to try and bop in here if he can, but I don't know if he's going to make it. We don't have no idea who else is going to make it. And Beat Bop Boop firing in a £1.99 says Black Xmas or Silent Night, Deadly Night. Well, they're both on the list. We'll see which one
Oh,
gets
yes.
ranked higher, though,
And they should be.
in just a few minutes here. So let's start off the list. Speaking of a movie that's debated, this is one I made an executive decision on. Lethal Weapon, although there's not a ton of it that has to do with Christmas. I think there's the whole idea of him not spending Christmas alone at the end was the whole thing. So we have that, but on the list here, do we mark it as I don't know what the hell does S even stand for on this thing?
Super.
That's got to be like
something.
greatest of all time, right?
I guess.
Exceptional.
Why wouldn't it
next
be
level.
GOAT anyway? Because like they got A, B, C, and D, no F.
It's sheep.
So-
It's S for sheep.
If I could, I can change this. Let's do it this way.
G for God. God tier.
X is the top. M is the middle.
Oh,
A,
nice.
S, F. Or worst.
Well, F.
X is the best for extreme Christmas. We're going 90s. Oh, I just remembered another Christmas movie.
Ooh.
Oh, here we go.
Let's go. Let's
the
do
list's
it.
getting longer.
Refresh it.
I've not
And,
even
you know,
ranked one yet.
that's a beauty
You know what?
about
Fuck
men
it. I'm
like
not putting
us.
it on. I didn't
We
remember it
always
before.
get longer.
I'm not going to do it. But yes, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is on here, guys. But
Oh,
anyhow, let's get
love it.
started. So Lethal Weapon, where are we going to rank this? So let's go start with you, Nick. Where would you put it? X, M, A, S, or F?
So is X A M B A C?
Yeah,
and
it's
then
the
F?
same
Okay,
order, just
okay,
yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go with. Oh boy, I'm gonna go with an M.
All right, so it's one you watch. I think this is probably the best way to do it. Is either you're a fan of it or you're not, and then like if you watch it every year, it's probably in the X list. If you watch it almost every year, it's probably in the M list and down the row. So there
I'm
you go.
going M too.
You think so, M? All right, CC.
It's a great movie. Whether am I going to put it in the GOAT for particularly for Christmas movie?
Yeah, that's the thing. If you're playing like an action list, I'd
Yeah,
probably put it
action
in
list,
the A.
maybe
but
it
for
does,
M,
yeah.
I'm gonna be on the B. But carry on, CC.
No, that's all I said. Is if we're looking at action movies, but we're looking at Christmas movies, so the second line for that, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with what you guys have said. If it was action buddy cop movies, it would be up in the X. But in this list, particularly as what Tom said around how often do you watch it? Do you watch it at Christmas kind of thing? I'd say it's more of an M, yes.
And I'm going to go with that. And I think that's kind of how we should probably rank these going forward. So yeah, I'm going to put it in the M or the A category. And since you guys all said M,
has been set.
staying in M. So all right, we got a quick one right out the bat. That was easy. That was mostly painless.
Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. It's time to go.
Thank you. Take care.
84 to go.
85 to go or 84 to go. Yes. So The Preacher's Wife. I'm probably the only one on here who's seen this movie with Whitney Houston and Denzel Washington. It's actually a remake of the Bishop's Wife.
Yeah, the David Niven Bishop's Wife. That was years ago.
Haven't seen it, so no ranks here. So I guess we'll put in the middle for me as an A, just to be nice, because Denzel Washington's in it.
I couldn't rank it higher than A, I don't think, and only because Denzel's in it. I'd be tempted to put it in S, to be honest. That's just me. Just didn't come to mind.
Honestly,
left no impression.
Like I said, I'm probably the only one on the panel who's seen it.
No, I
haven't seen it since it first came out.
Exactly.
It's got a okay soundtrack to it, but that's like that hasn't even lived on. So yeah, I think we got to put this in the S tier at best. Unless there's anybody in the chat who wants to make a good argument for it. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat real quick though, because we got a Walter Tomaszewski super chat from Buck99 says, "Oopsie, I meant Sleigh Ride." That one did not make the list. Did not, but maybe I can get it in here if we got time at the end. So I'll keep that one in mind.
S-L-E-I-G-H?
I can't remember. I think he's talking about the gold.
Oh,
is it the
Slay,
Goldberg one?
S-L-A-Y, the horror. Sorry.
Isn't that the Goldberg one? Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna say.
sorry, I'd forgotten about that.
And then ActionCom says, real tier list, movie theater, discount theater, stream on television, stream on phone or YouTube, bootleg. Well, that's if we were just ranking them by film. But I think, like, we got Xmas up there, so if it's an X, M, A, or S, like I said, it's like you watch it every year, almost every year, hardly ever, nearly never, or F, it fails completely on every level, and I would never watch it or watch it again. So I think that's a pretty good way to rank these.
Okay. No, I like
I think
that.
that's everybody makes sense to everybody. Yeah.
I'm on the same page with you.
All right. And then we've got Mars Monkey Max sending in 2 and says, "I'd like to buy an A, Pat." Is there an A, Vanna? Yes, there's an A. All right. So we got the Polar Express. We've got Deadeye City.
Oh, I know. Oh, yeah, creepy.
I'm gonna. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. 70.
no, you.
No,
go ahead,
whoever
Nick.
wants
No,
to,
no,
like-
no,
Oh,
I'm gonna go with an M.
Wow. So you watch it almost every year. All right.
Yeah.
CC?
I love the book. The movie, take it or leave it. I'll put it in the middle. A. It wasn't bad.
Okay. So we got one for M, one for A. Brian, what do you say?
Generously, I would put it in an S for me. Not a fan.
Yeah, me neither, man. I would almost give it an F. I fucking hate this movie. It is unwatchable.
I was toying with the F. I was.
It's not the story. It's a Zemeckis choice for doing it in that CGI motion capture, uncanny valley.
Uncanny Valley, yeah.
I just don't see it. I mean, I guess it's a lot of people watch it, but since we've got one for A and one for M, one for each of them except the top one.
Just do A or S.
I mean,
mean,
I
we're all
can't.
not
really
gonna-
care
I'm gonna-
less
I'm gonna
about
leave this
the
one up
movie,
to the
though. I love
chat.
the book.
I'm going to leave this up to the chat.
Well, you might as well do a vote because otherwise.
I'm going to do a vote.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going to do a vote.
Do a vote
Okay,
and we'll
guys,
move
it's
on.
up to you, the chat. The Polar Express. We're leaving it up to you
The
guys.
Bipolar Express, as Sanders is.
The Bipolar Express.
No, that's a movie.
I actually like a lot what Zemeckis did with the style here, and I thought there's a really cool story. I like the way the Santa's North
so
Pole
Nick's-
is designed.
Nick's
I
making-
really enjoy this movie. I really do. I've seen it almost every year
Oh,
since
there's
it
two
came
exits
out.
in that.
I know, I
Oh.
fucked up. I fucked up. See, 6 has got me thinking too much. Damn it. She's doing it on purpose, too. Just to
And
piss
I
me
like
off.
that idea, by the way, Tom, of doing when we can't come to agreement on what letter, have the chat decide. I think that's a great idea.
Thanks, Max. Yeah. That's 6. 6 is funny.
Okay, so I can't even put an F on here. Damn it. All right, so it's not definitely not
F's
going in the F
chat, then.
because
F's
I
in the
think
chat.
Nick made a good enough argument for that already. So we're going to move past that one for now. Here we go. We got Miracle on 34th Street, the remake with Richard Attenborough. Actually a fairly popular remake. So let's start with you, Brian. Have you seen this
Yeah,
film
I
and
just
did you like it?
I just picked up a copy of that from a thrift store recently. I would have that as an M. I'd put that as an M. Certainly as
Alright.
an M. Possibly even more, but I'll just say M. They can't all
Alright.
be X.
CC?
You know, I actually have not seen this one.
All right.
Watched the original, but not this one.
Well, that one's coming up, but Nick, what'd you say?
Which one again?
The Miracle on 34th Street remake.
Remake. I'm gonna go with an S. It's not a bad movie at all. It's just something that it doesn't come to my mind as far as a go-to for movies. And you know, as far as, and this is actually one of the few remakes I'm a bit more generous towards. I just still
Yeah.
prefer the original. The original I would probably put higher if I had seen it first, but I was a late bloomer to both the original and the remake. So I'm gonna go with an S. Not a bad movie, just not something that really comes to my mind when it
Yeah.
comes to Christmas movies.
All right, well, I'm going to split the difference here on this one,
Okay,
and I think I think you guys can agree. I think it'll go into A category.
That's fair. Hey, I
So
think
we
that's
have
fair.
one M, we have one for S. I'm going to throw it in A just
Fair enough.
because it's fairly beloved, and I would agree that it's almost as good as the original, sans the ending. And I think it was Price who was making an argument about that, like, or talking about that recently, or somebody was
There's nothing
about
wrong
how
with
the
an
ending
A.
of it
A
is.
is
Or no, it
good.
was Greg over on
A is
Fanzine.
still
That's
good.
what it was. But all right, so next one up is Prancer, a film from I think it was 88 or 89. I don't know if you guys remember it or not.
I have not seen this one.
Nope.
Don't recall.
I
seeing
enjoyed it.
ever.
It's a little harder to come by. That's probably why most people don't remember it.
What about CC? Have you seen it?
No, I never even heard of it.
So Tom, you're the sole arbiter.
You are the deciding voice.
I like it a lot, but I haven't seen it since I was a kid because I don't even know if it's ever even gotten a release on Blu-ray or anything like that. So I'm gonna just put it in the S category, I guess. But now we got a big one. We might have our first X of the board here, because I'm going right up. I'm gonna say this is going right up here. This is Scrooged. Brian, do you disagree? Agree? Bill Murray Scrooged?
I absolutely agree. I watch
A
this
yearly
movie
watch.
regularly. Yes, great movie.
Sometimes not even at Christmas.
Exactly. Sometimes not even at Christmas. Yes, it's no. I would have put that in S. Absolutely.
All right. CC?
I got to rewatch it and remind myself
Oh,
why
jeez.
I should like it more than the other versions of that story. But I'll take your word for it.
Nick, you're the saving grace here. Come on, man.
I'll go with an A.
What? You got to be fucking with me right now.
We are talking Scrooged, right?
Yeah, with Bill Murray.
Oh, not. Hold on. M. I'm not gonna go with X. I'm gonna go with an M.
That's where I would have put it too, Nick. But you know,
Yeah.
I understand
You guys
why
are
you'd
making
wanna
the
put it
argument.
higher.
I think the
God
weight is
damn
an
it.
M.
All right, fine.
M.
It fell. All right, now we get our first sappy crappy movie, Love Actually.
So
I give it an F too.
Is that
but
like giggly quality?
oh, the women love this movie though.
That's not a recommendation, though, is it?
I know it's not.
I mean,
I don't like this movie. It's just me. I don't like it, so it's an F for me. But that's just me.
I don't know why I had a retard moment when I thought about Scrooge. For some reason, I thought about something else, and then I'm like, hold up. What am I saying? I was just watching this movie recently, so I was having a Ricky Retardo moment. So forgive me. That was I genuinely meant to do an M. That wasn't meant to be a backtrack. It was just my brain coming back together.
Wow. All right. I don't know where to do this one because I hate this movie. I did not like
it's
it.
a failure. Just put it in the failure.
But I know
maybe
a lot of people in the
Never
chat.
watch it again.
I think a lot of people in the chat are going to get pissed if we do this.
Just do it.
All right, it's the first one going into the F category.
We're a panel of men.
Bravo.
We broke the F's cherry anyway. All right, so I only got 53 votes on the Polar Express. So get on that vote, guys. If you're on the X side of things, please pop over to YouTube and vote real quick. That'll help us out.
It's pretty
It's
tight.
pretty
And
tight.
the vote
Yeah.
shows the vote.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
I'm going to X to vote.
we better get
Or
some
my
loot.
vote is no.
Krampus is next. This is a little scary classic in the vein of Gremlins. Who's seen this besides myself?
I've seen it.
Who wants to read it? What do you say, Brian?
Oh, I like it a lot. I'm not sure I'll be watching it. If watching it every year at Christmas is one of the criteria, I'm not sure it would fall into that for me. But I'd give it an A.
Yeah, I'd probably put it in that A category. I agree with you, CC.
I'd go the same.
Which one
Krampus
again?
is one we're talking about. Krampus.
Okay. Oh god, it's been too long for me since I've seen it. I think I'm just gonna be in the middle with an A just because I don't have a good memory of it.
All right. That's about where it lands, I guess, kids. Now we got one of our first biggins. This could be it. We could break the X category now.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Home Alone.
Oh,
Nick.
Ring that bell. Ring that
Oh,
bell.
I'm gonna go with a hard, huge X on this one. This is one of
Okay.
the ones.
So far,
for
it's starting
me,
up there.
man.
CC?
I am dead set on this one, and no one can argue me out of this one.
CC?
This is the movie to beat for about the next minute.
Well,
I'll take that as an X.
I'm putting it as an X too.
Me too. This is a yearly one for me.
A yearly
I
Christmas
seen it in the
watch, yeah.
theaters as a
Shut
kid.
it,
And
Bob.
there you go.
With the wet bandits.
I'm living
Wet
alone.
bandits.
I'm living alone.
I'm
And
giving
guess what?
you to the count of
I
three
live alone, kids.
to get your ugly, yellow, no good
No
keister
good
off my
keister off
property.
my
Before I
property.
pump your guts full of lead. All right, Johnny, I'm going. 1, 2.
10.
Oh God.
Snake. I don't know any snake. All right, we beat the minute. Because here we go again, kids. That's what Christmas is all about, Charlie Brown.
Mhm.
Nick?
Oh, M. Charlie
Really?
Brown, right? M.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. CC.
If we're for like ordering in the categories, this one goes ahead of Home Alone, but I can see
Yeah.
there being an argument for that.
So you're saying X. Yeah,
Definitely.
it doesn't matter as far as the order on the level.
Yeah,
It's just
okay, because they'll get crazy. But yeah, that's a shoe in for X.
all right. Well, we got 2 so far, or 1 for M, 1 for X. Brian.
I think I'd be more inclined to an M. I mean, it is beloved, and I have watched it many, many times and grew up with it. In fact, I'm not quite sure it hits the X for me, but it's an M.
I think I'm going to make an argument for the X because it is, if I remember right, it's either the first or one of the first animated Christmas specials. So it kind of kicked off that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
It is the first Peanut special. It showed yearly for what, 50 fucking years on TV.
Yeah.
It's
I
one
think
of those,
that puts it in the X category. Pretty simple.
one of those ones where you don't even have to find it; it finds you. Because if you want to watch, no one else is watching. It's one of those ones where the movie finds you practically.
Everybody knows the
Yeah,
line.
so
You
the movie
killed
finds
it.
you.
The movie isn't finding you. The music damn sure is.
I'm seeing a few M's in the chat, but a lot of X's.
It's no.
I
lower
can't.
than
I
M.
can't.
It's
I
gotta be
can't
lower.
not. Look, I know we're kind of split, but I'm gonna take an executive order here.
Well, it'd
and
be
make
nice
it a
if we
X.
if we
No,
had
X
a
is
fifth
fine. I
body,
can live with
we'd have a odd. We'd make it odd. That way we could have a majority.
I'm
Yeah,
not
let me see where-
against X. I can
Let's see
live with an
where
X.
Polar Express is sitting at here. Oh, it's
Yeah,
still
we're-
bopping around, guys. So keep going. And while we're waiting for that, we got Mars, Monkey Max. I don't think we got this one. Oh yeah, we did get this
We
one.
did.
I'd like to buy a name. We got that one. Joe Pat says, "Is Joye Noel on
Joyeux
this list?
Noël.
The Christmas
Joyeux.
truce? No, because I don't even know how to say it.
Cece can say it better than me.
Has anybody seen it?
Negative.
No.
I think we should have put the Sabaton Christmas truce video on here, though. That would have been good.
All right. Well, since it sounds like nobody on the panel's seen it, Joe Pat, I'm going to leave this one off, and I'm gonna ask again. Has anybody besides me seen Sleigh Ride? I have seen this, but it's been like 20 years.
I have not.
I don't
ever.
think I have.
Nope.
No.
And since I have it and I can barely remember it, Walter, I'm going to also make the decision to leave that one off, unfortunately, as well, for now. All right, so let's keep moving along here. Keep voting, guys. I want at least 100 votes before we make a final call on Polar Express. But the next one on the list is Harold and Kumar Christmas. I think this is one you were asking about, CC, if I remember right.
Well, I was just saying in the back, it's the one Harold and Kumar movie I haven't seen.
Oh, you haven't seen? Okay.
No, but I mean, it is Harold and Kumar, so it should probably be on the list, right?
Well, and the funny thing is it's probably the least of the Harold and Kumar films, but it
Yeah.
has some really fun Christmas moments in it with Neil Patrick Harris. It's not one I watch every year. I'd probably put it in the A or S category, and I'd have to think about it for a minute. So let's start with you, Nick. What did you say? What would you say?
I'm gonna go with an S. You know, I don't
Okay.
necessarily love it, but I'm kind of it's one of those things for me. It's fine on its own merits, but as far as a Christmas movie, I would probably stick with the S because it's just I've had so many or go tos that it's got a tall order to dethrone, if not try to be up there with all my other Christmas favorites. So I'm gonna go with an S for Harold and Kumar.
All right, Brian, it's up to you now. Are you going to change it? Because I'm going to have to agree with Nick on that one.
I'm not that fussed about it as a movie or a Christmas movie. I would go for an S on
All right.
this one.
That I think's pretty solid on
Yeah.
that one. All right, now we got a fucking murderer's row coming up here.
We're not going to survive.
We're not going to survive this shit coming up here. So I want to check the poll. Okay, we need 19 more votes, guys. Come on. And then we can call this thing a day. This is too fucking close. Because I want to get the Polar Express out of the way before we
Isn't
get
it
to
funny
this.
how that one's so divided? Well, that's the thing. That one I've noticed. Like when it came out, it was like it started off slow in the theaters and it gained legs slowly. But even though it gained legs and did fairly well overall, there's still even kind of polar. No pun intended. There's polarized opinions then, but it's definitely maintained a following despite said polarized opinions.
I mean, the A category is in the middle. That might be the definition of the split vote.
Yeah, that might
That's kind of
be-
where we're getting, and it's so split down the fucking middle as it is. I'm gonna give it like one more minute, guys, and if we don't get any more than like
What's
85 more, huh?
What's leading?
It is almost deadlocked at S and A, and then almost deadlocked again 10 points down the road with M and X. So like,
Wow. Yeah, see, it's one of those ones you
That's
either
what I
really
mean,
like it or
yeah.
you really don't.
so that's the only reason I'm not sure to put it. If we should put it in the A or the M category.
I think you should do
I think you
A.
should put it in
And
the
I
S
say that someone who
category.
loves
All right,
it.
I think
just
we're gonna
because
make a
we got to
call.
be fair here because even as much as I loved it, it's not lost on me that there is very divided opinions on
All right.
it. And at the end
Yep.
of the day,
This
we're
is
about
when-
I think
the
that's a good point.
S
Yeah.
wins.
grandstanding opinion.
Oh no, S was top of the poll. Come on, you can't put it in A. It said S. S got
Yeah, but I mean,
29%.
42% of the vote went to the upper categories. So I mean, it probably bumps it up to at least
No,
the
come
A.
on, that's not democracy.
That's why I say put it in the middle, and I think Nick made a good argument. But Brian, I'm willing to listen. You really think it should go down to the S?
I'd
Well,
say
I
it
mean,
should stay
it
at
should
the
be
A.
a first past the post vote.
All right. Well, you know what? G-Man just sent us in a super chat saying Polar Express is just Tom Hanks wearing different disguises so he can hang out with kids in pajamas the whole time. Gross.
Yeah, and so that
Um,
doesn't legitimize an argument. Mike Myers is 3 or 4 different characters in his Austin Powers movies. Like,
That's fair, but I
You
think
can
that
do
point. We don't hear rumors about Mike Myers.
and let's not also forget we just said earlier that X and M also had split
I don't-
votes too. So
Look,
I don't even think Mike Myers has had kids in his movies aside from Cat in the Hat. To be
So-
honest with
No,
he
you.
you're
just got
right.
a lot of tits.
I'm not talking about as far as that character goes, but as far as his Austin Powers movies, he has freaking characters in the Austin Powers trilogy.
No, I know, but I think the point he's making, it's a pretty funny joke, Nick,
it's
and I'm
a-
gonna.
Effective story on the idea of a kid who is not a believer and
Okay, so are you
changing his
making an
mind.
argument for it to go back up or not?
to A? Yes.
okay.
Oh,
put it in A
God.
then.
Yeah.
Some people in the chat seem to want A. So.
All right, fine.
It belongs in
All
there.
right. Now,
Anything below M is trash anyway. I'm
you
just
guys
kidding.
ready for this shit? Y'all ready for this? Okay, we've got a couple coming up here. You guys got to get ready for it. We got the Santa Claus with Tim Allen. Start with you, Nick. Huh?
Oh man, I feel bad for what I'm gonna give this
oh.
one because I actually really like this one. I just don't watch it enough. And then if I had seen other ones, not had seen as many other ones as before.
Just remember the sequels
probably
are
give
on the
this
list
one-
too.
I'd probably give this one an M, but I'm only going to have to go with an A because there's just other ones that I like more. But on its
Oh,
own merits,
man.
it's probably an M.
Okay, now again, I'm gonna reiterate, guys. The sequels are on the list. So you're giving it an M, CC?
This is an X. You're kicking me in the balls, Nick. What are you doing?
I'm with Nick.
Totally an X.
I'm going for
It's
M.
not bad. It's not. I don't want.
Oh, we got two
It's
M's.
not a bad movie at all. That's the thing. This is one of those movies where I think it's really good. It's just I have so many other ones I prefer. That's all that it is, and that's not
All
a
right.
bad thing. When the
All
rest
right,
of the
I'm gonna be the
competition is
tiebreaker ish
like
to a
more.
point here because, yeah, I don't watch it every year, although I love it. I'm gonna put it in the M, so I think that leaves it in the M. Unless who was it who said X? CC?
Seeing a lot of X's in the chat too.
Yeah. Well, if you want to make a really good argument for it, I'll give you about 30 seconds.
Look, you know what? It's not Home Alone and it's not Charlie Brown.
Oh, then
give
you
you
just
that.
made your own argument, I
Yes,
guess.
there has to be
All
some
right, so
differentiation.
Besides,
I
go
do
ahead.
I do like what Beep Bop Boop says in the chat. Though. The Santa Claus is the Highlander of Christmas movies. You kill Santa and take his power. There can be only one.
That is
That's the
well
best
said.
comment
That is
of the
so
day, right there. Best
All right,
comment of the day.
we got to keep moving along, though. So we got the next one, and this one I think I'm going to throw right up in the X category right away. And Brian, you got to make an argument to take it out of there. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
I ain't making no argument to take it out.
All
of
right,
there. That's where
CC.
it belongs.
That's
Classic.
top tier.
Nick,
It's the one to beat.
You didn't want to get punched. All right.
Oh, if I felt different, I would have said so, but I genuinely love this one. I watch it every year.
Shitter's full.
Yeah. It's an X.
Come on, it's an X.
indisputably.
I don't know anybody who doesn't
landslide
like this
back.
movie.
It's a
I don't care.
landslide.
It's a triple X. Yes.
You don't even. I know people who hate Chevy Chase and they still like this movie.
Mm.
Shit, people in the movie that hate Chevy Chase probably still like the movie.
It just
All right.
captures the chaotic spirits of Christmas.
Here's a
perfectly.
trickster one: Christmas Story Christmas. So this is the sequel. This is not the original.
Oh,
I didn't hate
see
it. I thought it was actually a very good film.
I
But
like
I've only seen it twice since
Mhm.
it came out.
Mm-hmm.
So Nick, let's see here what you
I'm
think.
gonna go with an A because it's still very fresh and it's not had enough time to really age itself. But on its own merits, it is a really solid sequel, and it did respect what came before the original sequel. So it's definitely, if you're someone who was originally scared of watches because of current year, you don't have to have any concerns because it's a really strong movie. But I think this is the type of thing where you can judge it better, in 10, 20 years down the line to see how it holds up. But for now, we'll stick with an A for conversation's sake.
All right, CC, have you seen it?
I actually haven't seen it, but everything that I've heard about it, just like Nick said, it respects the material. So,
Surprisingly, yeah, for the most part. Brian?
I have never seen it, so you can stick it
Watch
where
it.
you like.
Whoa,
I'm gonna have to,
whoa.
ooh,
Don't
I'm
tell
gonna have to leave it-
Gary.
I'm gonna have to leave it in the A category because it just okay, so Elf. I think that goes right in the F. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. All right, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. All right, Brian, what do you think? Where would you put
Well,
Elf?
interestingly enough, it's a movie that it actually took me a couple of viewings to really warm up
Yeah.
to. At first, I thought, well, that was okay, but after repeated viewings over the years, I now would definitely be putting it in no lower than an M. I'm just trying to decide whether it really, really deserves to be up with Home Alone and Christmas Vacation. I know people who'd say it does. I'm gonna be on the conservative side. I'm gonna say M. It is a great movie. I've grown to appreciate it, and I do watch it almost every year. So
You know-
it's got at least an M.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. I didn't actually like it when it first came out.
Yeah.
And I said the problem with it is the best joke is in the first 5 minutes. And it's when the Keebler elves run out of the burning tree. When it's like there's only 3 jobs for an elf or whatever it is.
They
Yeah.
left the best bit out of the movie when they cut the ice hockey scenes out,
Oh, I didn't
where
even
he's-
know about that.
where he's playing ice hockey with the elves and he's beating the shit out of them because he's so much bigger.
Oh, like a Happy Gilmore kind of scene, or
Yeah,
not Happy Gilmore,
yeah.
but Billy Madison almost.
yeah, so that was the best bit, but it's an M for me.
Yeah, I got to agree with you on that one. CC, did you have an argument against it?
you know what? I'm in that group where I didn't love it the first time I watched it. The thing is, I didn't watch it again, so
Mhm.
I can't offer that how it grew on me over the years, kind of, perspective. But I mean, I wouldn't say that I hated it. I just,
Okay, so you don't really have a good argument to take it down, but you don't have any. Argument.
not really. I mean, if I had to, it just because I kind of didn't love it and forgot about it. All I could do would be to vote A, right? But
It's not a better movie than Lethal Weapon. I'll put it that way.
No.
It shouldn't be an X.
well, that's the thing. It
But
right now it's sitting next to movies that I hold in higher regard.
Krampus.
Well, let's leave it up to Nick because I gotta say M with Brian, and you say A. So
I'm gonna go with an M. I really enjoyed this
All right.
movie, even though there's ones that I like more than it. I like it better than a lot of other ones, even more. So I feel like M
Yeah.
is a really appropriate spot for this movie. And I even I rewatched it. I'd say almost every year. It's not been every single one, but it's definitely come close. And it for me is one of Farrell's best performances. We can all have our opinions on him, whatever, as far as he is outside movies. But as this movie, this is one of my favorite performances from him, bar none.
all right, yeah, I can't really change it. So yeah, I think that's where
I
it's gonna
like
sit.
it more for James Caan and his
Yeah.
story arc of
Well, it's
of growing
aged
to,
really
growing
well.
to
It
appreciate
has
becoming a
aged
father.
very
I like
well.
that part of it.
I agree at that
Yeah.
time. Elf has aged very well. Like it watches it. We saw it at an opera theater last year. The family and I, we saw it in an opera theater last year, It was awesome seeing it in the theater like that. It was a perfect movie to see at a theater.
Was it
Oh,
over
and-
when the fat lady sang?
Beat Bop Boop sends in a pound $4.99 and says the best scene in Elf is when Peter Dinklage visits the office and Buddy says, "I don't know elves work here. Does Santa know you left the workshop?" Yeah, that was pretty funny too.
Yeah.
Like I said, over the years it has grown on me. So yeah, I think we're gonna leave it in the M category, and then we're gonna start with Nick on this next one anyway, since it's a comic book film and the only comic book movie on here. Although, should Iron Man be on here?
Nah, I would say Iron Man 3 should not be on here. And I'm
All
not
right.
saying that as an
Let's
insult
ask
towards
the chat.
movie.
Let's
Somebody
ask the
mentioned it
chat.
earlier,
Sure, let the
but-
chat. The chat says to vote on it. I won't argue with the chat, but
Should Iron Man 3 be on the list? Yes or no? Start the poll. Okay. Now, Batman Returns. What do you say, Nick?
I'm gonna give this one and I'm bouncing around between X and M here. Let me think here. Let me think X and M, X and M, X and M, X and M. I'm gonna go with an X. I'm gonna go with an X.
Oh, starting out hard.
Hey, dude, you
Wow.
know, if I'm gonna start off one
That's the way it
way,
usually goes.
hard is the only way I go, man.
That's true. So, all right, Nick's coming in hard with Batman Returns. The Yellow Flash would be proud at the X category. CC, would you keep it up there, or does it fall?
If
Remember,
this is a Batman tier list, that's probably my favorite Batman movie of all time.
Mhm.
And so I'm going to put it in X.
Oh, geez. All right, so 2 already for X. It's going to be tough to break out of the X category, Brian. What do you say?
This is very rarely am I so conflicted over a movie on this list. Brilliant movie, but I feel its Christmas credentials are a little bit over egged. But it's still a great movie. If it was just ranking it as a movie, it would be X. I'm sorry, I'm only going to have to go M on this
That's
one.
fair.
Yeah.
I won't
So
argue.
2
If we
X's
go
and an
for-
M.
Yeah.
Well, too bad Yellow
That's
Flash
fair.
isn't watching, because you know what I'd do if Yellow Flash was here?
What?
Payback for Gremlins.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. No, honestly, this is one I watch
Oh,
almost
he
every
hates
year.
Gremlins?
So, he was being a dick about it.
He does.
Hey,
I
I like Yellow Flash. I think he's got a great channel. I watch his Flashcast, here and there. I'm a mod on Flashcast when I have a chance to appear, but I'm with you on Gremlins. We can't all be perfect.
Now, this is a tough one for me because I do like it. It's just one of my favorite Batman films. I do feel like the Christmas element is a big part of it, especially with,
I'd argue that it
mistletoe
is.
can be a kiss can be deadly if you mean it, and or mistletoe can be deadly if you eat it, and a kiss can be deadlier if you mean it thing, and a lot of the other little subplots that go around it. Although I don't think I kind of have to agree with Brian though. At the end of the day, the Christmas element of the movie is not necessarily necessary. It could be removed and it wouldn't matter.
Yes, I never think of it that way. You
Yeah,
know,
I mean, yeah,
never-
you have the Christmas tree lighting. You have, some bits that kind of lean into the Christmas element, but I wouldn't say that it's heavy on the Christmas. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna go with an M too. So we got 2 M's and 2 X's on this one.
But you know what?
So,
I like your argument for that. It's not pure Christmas. But then are we going to get into that with Die Hard too?
Well, we may.
No, Die Hard, I can make an argument for that actually. So yeah, so I
Okay.
think we're gonna
It's integral to the
slide that
plot.
one down just for now.
Well, there we go. then.
Unless- But what
That's
we'll
fine.
do is maybe we'll come back to it if we have time.
It's
But
an
I don't know if we're gonna have
X-tier
time. We got to get
movie
through some
with-
of these other ones.
It's an
So let's knock
X-tier
some of these-
movie with an M tier Christmas element. Yeah.
Yeah, basically, you're right, Brian. That's what it is. So these next few, I think, hopefully we can crack through pretty quick here. We got Frosty the Snowman, the classic. I'm gonna put it up in X category right away because I watch it every year. So I'm voting X. Brian, what do you say?
I'm not going to disagree with you.
Happy
it's a
birthday.
wonderful, wonderful movie. Yeah, sure.
That's his first words.
That's right.
Sure.
Happy birthday.
Birthday. I'm not going to disagree with you on that. I think
All right.
it's one of the very definitions of what a Christmas animation should be.
CC,
Yeah. Okay. I mean, can't
I
disagree.
think you have to because you're Canadian. Because isn't he like live there half the year?
Look, it's not the one that I've watched the most, but I agree and appreciate with the point that it is the definition of classic Christmas movies.
Frosty,
So
the snowman. And you don't cry when Frosty dies? What?
oh no,
be
no,
back
I cry every
someday.
damn time that.
All right.
CC
cool enough.
builds his own Frosty every year
I was gonna say.
outside his RV, and then in the spring he dies. If he dies, he dies. That's what
That's right. If he dies, he
he
dies.
dies.
Nick, is it coming out of the X category for you? I got to imagine it's almost a yearly
Oh,
thing. with
dude, I
kid.
grew up on this, man. This is an X through and through. The song, the
All right.
the animation style. We like no. I've been around ornaments that are around this movie. Christmas decorations in every place I've lived have had this variation of Frosty in there. I ain't backing away from X for this
All right.
one.
Let's keep moving along. Then we got the Christmas Chronicles with Kurt Russell. I've never seen it, so I'm going to leave it up to you guys. Brian?
Believe it or not, I've never seen it either.
Oh, wow. Okay, so CC?
Ooh.
No, I
Much
haven't
as
seen
love
it.
Kurt.
Oh, God, Nick.
I'm the only one who's seen it.
I guess so. So it's up to
Okay.
you.
On you.
As of now, I'm gonna give it an M. If I would once again, I'd like to always factor age as a factor into these, but this one's still fairly recent. It's not hit that 10-year mark, but I love this movie. I feel like Kurt Russell did a great job playing Santa Claus. There's a great end scene with Mrs. Claus, and who plays Mrs. Claus is the most ideal pick to play Mrs. Claus, and his journey around Christmas is chaotic. It's funny. He even goes to Chirac in the movie, and the story around it, like, it's awesome. It's a strong end that maybe within time could be an X. I gotta see if it's gonna continue to have that rewatchability throughout the years of the R movies I have for Christmas. That's the only thing that's holding it back from being an X is the yearly tradition. But once again, get
right.
back to me in 5 years on that.
Well, it looks like most of the chat is saying M or S, so it's kind of like a wonky one. Then I got a few A's. So,
I'll watch it this Christmas on this recommendation.
well, what do you say? What would you say, Nick, if we brought it down to A since the chat?
If you guys want to bring it down, that's fine. At the end of the day, I mean, I understand it's the majority of wins, but for me personally, it's an M.
I'm willing to bet if we put it to a vote, they would probably bring it down to an A.
Yeah, maybe they would. Maybe they would.
I think we're going to do that just for now. Unless
Okay.
somebody wants to super chat and argue a point, then
No, fine.
We're
By
gonna
all
leave it
means,
at that.
Move it away.
All right, Black Christmas. The one that
Now
started it
we're
all.
talking.
That's right. This is be the original, yes.
Yes,
The one, the only, the original.
I have
I-
not seen.
It's
Neither have I.
great.
What? So it's up to me and Brian?
It's up to us. I'll let
I
you
don't know,
go
Brian.
first.
What do you say?
Well, this is where people are going to really wildly disagree with me because I would have put it as an X.
You know,
I
I'm not going to
absolutely
totally
love
disagree
it.
with you. I put it up there. I'd probably go in the M or the A category because it is. I mean, I don't even count the remakes.
Yeah, I'm not
So-
counting the remake. I'm talking about the
I
original. Yeah,
guess I'd vote an M.
and it's a great Canadian movie. So you know what? I'll accept an M. I'll accept
Alright.
an M. Yes.
We'll
It's
throw
not-
it
I
in
can't
the
say I
M.
watch it every year, but I have watched.
Especially
it a lot.
since it's directed by what's his face who did Christmas Story and Porky's.
It's
uh,
Bob Clark was the
Bob
director.
Clark, thank you.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, and it's of course got Margot Kidder.
Yep.
I think Keir Dalia's in it as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
So,
It's a great cast.
can't remember.
John
Olivia Hussey,
Saxon's in it.
That's it. John
Olivia
Saxon,
Hussey's in
yeah.
it.
So it's a really great. It's a Canadian movie. It's really good. But
Yep.
it's one of the seminal slasher movies, and
Yep.
it's a lot of fun. And it's set
All
in
right.
Westmount, the Westmount neighborhood of Montreal, the richest part. That's where all the politicians live in Westmount. So
All right. Well, if you want us to get to Die Hard, we got to keep moving here because I know you got to leave us here in a little bit. So we got Little Drummer Boy next. Let's run real quick through this one. I'm gonna go probably on the A category on that one. I don't watch it every year, but I've watched it quite a bit throughout my life. CC?
We skipping the director's cut of Elf?
Yes.
yeah, that's an F. The director's cut of Elf.
I was going to say, yeah.
I'm just gonna leave it
I,
off.
I,
It's
I
just
haven't
gonna
seen
stay there.
Drummer. I haven't seen Drummer Boy though.
Oh, okay. The Rankin and
Me
Bass
neither.
classic or Bass, however you say
I
it.
missed
No,
that
I,
one
I've
for
not.
some
Brian
I've
hasn't either, Nick?
completely
No,
overlooked
I
it.
missed that one.
I've only seen it once. I liked it. but I'm probably gonna go with an A, just because I've not
Well,
given
that's
it.
two
I
A's.
haven't given it the chance to get full rewatches to determine if it is rewatchable. But I liked it, so I'm gonna go with an A. But maybe I'll be higher down the line for one day. But carry on.
All right, Night Before, one I've never seen, so I'm going to leave it up to you guys. Brian?
Never seen.
Never seen it.
No, I've never seen that, and in fact, I probably never will.
I'm going to put that in the F category because I've never even heard anybody talk
Yeah.
about it. All right, Edward Scissorhands. Let's start with you, Nick. Where would you put it?
It's a Christmas.
ARS.
It's the story of how the town got snow.
The cartels were
I
involved.
guess
in
you
that
could say if
That
they're
too.
if they're a Johnny Depp movie, I'd probably go with an A. But for Christmas, I'm gonna go with an S because it's just not something that I affiliate with Christmas whatsoever.
Okay, fair
That's
argument.
just my
CC?
opinion.
I don't know. Winona Ryder. I mean, I'll take that any day of the week. I mean, I could go triple X for that, but I mean, I'll settle for M.
All right.
I'm gonna give it an A.
Okay, so you're
because I
bringing it
think
back up to
it's
A. So he said
right in the
M.
middle. It's in the middle. I don't think. Yes, Christmas is in it, and the ice sculpture, etc. But I wouldn't watch it every Christmas. That's not one that would spring to mind. It's still a great movie. Don't get me wrong, but as a Christmas movie, it's got to be only an A.
I think either A or S is a fair place to put it. Some people don't consider it, some people do. And those who do, I don't know if they'd watch it every year or not. So there you go. All right, Violent Night. Here's one that I watched for the first time last year, or this last year here, and enjoyed it quite a bit.
Haven't seen.
David
I've seen it.
Harbour.
It's pretty good. Would I go gaga over it and watch it lovingly every year? Probably not. So I'd put it as an A for me.
A. Nick.
Have not seen.
Oh, you didn't see it? Okay.
It's good though.
Yeah,
Good
I'm gonna
movie.
agree with you, Brian. It's good, but I don't know if I'll watch it every year.
Yeah, exactly.
All
Yeah, I
right,
haven't
let's
seen
keep
it.
moving. We've got Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna get hung if we don't put it. To be honest with you.
Are we going to be well hung or just hung?
No, just hung in this case. See, look at that. X, Shirley. X.
You know,
Yeah,
I
go ahead.
I think of that whole series as more Halloween, even though it is Christmas.
It's one of those crossover films. I can't argue that.
It's an astoundingly good movie. And I guess Christmas is an enormous component of the story, given what happens to
It's
Santa.
the Grinch
so-
stole Christmas in reverse,
Yes.
guys. I mean, really.
So I say I'm splitting hairs here. I would have had it as an M, but that's just me. But that's I would find it hard to justify that. But it's no less than an M.
Yeah, I would have put it in the M2 personally, but I think part of that is just because it's a movie I would watch on Halloween, even though it obviously it has Christmas in the title. But I mean, I'm not gonna have a problem with
I
it
wouldn't
being
object
an
with
X.
it being an X. Just
I'm keeping it next unless somebody gives me a good argument. I haven't heard one yet, so we're going to keep moving along. So, we got the original Bishop's Wife. I think I've only seen this once.
you
my
can't
entire
beat the
life.
bishop's wife.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Anybody?
I've seen
Bueller?
it, but like in the
Haven't
1960s,
Nope.
70s.
Honestly, I remember seeing a pre-for and it didn't really look all that appealing to me, so that's why I just never watched it.
Well, let's just throw it in the S category unless somebody wants to argue in the chat. We'll keep moving along. We got Mickey Rooney in Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
Just
The
before you
Rankin
rank
and
that,
Bass classic.
I do unfortunately have to drop out. but,
All right. Take care, Brian.
No, cheers,
Go ahead and
guys.
plug
Enjoy
your
it.
channel.
Bye, 70s.
And
See ya, man.
Die Hard is a Christmas movie, and it's an X.
Oh.
See ya.
See ya, man.
Check out that 70 Rock fan channel. All right,
And
now it's
then
just
there were
there was
three.
three. Yeah,
That's gonna
until somebody
speed
else
this up
comes in.
along. Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. So all right. So I already threw Die Hard up in X because I don't think we're gonna argue about that one.
Nah, it's
So
not.
now back to
It's
Santa
good.
Claus is coming to town. Am I the only one who's probably seen this? I got to imagine you've seen it at least, Nick.
Oh, I've seen it. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with an M. I like it. I think it's strong. I just happen to watch Frosty and Rudolph more, but it's still good. It's a still really solid flick.
That's true, and I can't argue with that. Actually, what about you, CC?
I haven't seen it.
All right, well then I guess it's staying there. Okay,
Comfy
this is the
spot.
old.
By
I
the way,
believe
Iron
19
Man 3 got absolutely decimated for being not a
Oh,
Christmas
shit.
movie.
Thanks for reminding
I
me.
kept is at 95 votes and 74% said no.
Nah, it's staying off the list then. All right, so we got the old Christmas Carol, I believe, from the 19. I don't know. Look, okay, so here's the thing, guys. I put like 5 different Christmas carols on here, and I picked the ones that I know most people know. All right, so this is the one from the like 1950s, I believe. So I'm gonna just throw it in the S category unless somebody else has an argument.
I
For it.
see. I feel like I've seen one, but I don't have a really good recollection of it. So I don't want to judge that one when I have really nothing, even of a remembrance to judge.
And there's plenty of other ones coming up here. So we got Christmas in Connecticut.
What?
Oh,
I've
you
not
never heard that one?
seen.
All right,
I
so
knew
I guess I'm
about it,
gonna
but
have
have
to
not
make a
seen.
decision on this one.
Yep.
All right, chat, throw me a few in the chat. What do you guys think? Christmas in Connecticut, the original black and white classic. So where should we put it? Where should we rank it? Throw out your rankings. What do we got?
I didn't know this exists.
Who cares? That doesn't work. S. All right, so we got one S already. M. Okay, so an S and an M. Never heard of it. Well, actually, Arnold Schwarzenegger directed the TV remake. Believe it or not. Oh, we got a couple S's already, so I'm going to throw it in the S for now. We got a couple A's. Got an I love that movie.
I mean, maybe
Yeah.
I watch it and I'm thinking, wow, this
Well,
is amazing.
since we had a
So I got
couple
no
of-
idea.
Yeah, we had a couple A's and a couple S's. So we had a couple S's. Let's just leave it in the S for now. All right, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I'd like to see somebody argue me out of that one.
There's no
Hard X.
argument there. Come
There
on.
is no argument. You're wrong. It's X. It's the best. I've seen it many times.
Mumbles
Never was-
bounce.
Oh! And there's now a great Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer cereal based off this movie.
I
So
saw
it's
that.
got a
Is it
damn
good?
cereal. Oh yes, it is.
What's
It's
the
from
flavor
General
of it?
Mills. Chocolate and good.
Chocolate good. Okay. All right. Holiday Inn, the black and white classic that features White Christmas. Although this is the movie earlier, I believe we were talking about where it does take place at Christmas and there's Christmas elements to it. It also has like a bunch of other stuff from other parts of the year too. So because of that, I hope I don't get yelled at for this, but I'm going to throw it in the S category. Anybody going to argue against the Holiday
objections.
Inn?
No objections.
Never seen
I've
it.
only seen it once, and my memory is not all that good of it. Not in a negative way.
Oh,
just
some people
not
are mad at me already. All right, fine. All right. I'll put it in the A category. Because I'm going to tell you right now, White Christmas is better.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. All right, carry on. Before I start singing my face off.
Yeah.
Face
We got a
off.
lot of people that are mad at
Face
me
off.
already. I'm sorry. But
Hey, you gotta make
because
everyone happy.
White Christmas is a loose remake of Holiday Inn, and I just think it's the better film. So I'm going to go with that one. Unless somebody wants to make a really, really, really strong argument in the chat. I know it's a Christmas classic, but again, not the whole entire thing takes place at Christmas, so I'm going to leave that as part of the point here. And we got another Christmas Carol up, and this is one I'm going to have you guys argue me out of X because this is my favorite version of a Christmas Carol, Muppet Christmas Carol. Take it away, boys.
Oh, the Muppet Christmas. Yeah. I'm not arguing.
Nick?
I'm gonna go with. I'm bouncing around between M and A in my head. I like it, by the way, a lot. It's just there's other ones I like. I'm gonna go with
There's a
M.
lot of X's in the chat.
I'm gonna go with M only because it's really good. There's just ones that I like even more, called Home Alone, Rudolph. But I don't blame
Well,
anyone who gives it an X because
I think you
it
got
is
trumped
really damn
already by
good.
the
If
chat.
I got trumped, I got trumped. I will accept getting trumped by
You
the
got
Muppets.
1, 2,
Yeah.
3, 4, 5, at least 4 or 5 X's already flying in the chat. And CC, unless you think it should go in the M category, I'm sticking with X.
I'll go with Nick on the fact that it's not the one I watch as much as the other ones currently in the X category, but I'm not going to argue against it being an X.
Its quality is there.
Yeah.
Its quality is undeniably great.
All right, moving along. Billy Bob Thornton, Bad Santa, which I believe is our upcoming Toxic Tuesday.
Yes, it is. Oh, dude,
So-
I remember seeing this one in theaters. The opening weekend, that Saturday, I saw it. That was 21 years ago. I remember actually not wanting to see it at the time. One
They
of my
let you in the
buddies.
theater when you were like 12? What?
I was. Let me see. How old was I? Let me think
I'm
here.
kidding. You're a little older, maybe, but
I was. Hold on.
you have such a baby face. I can't imagine you wouldn't have
No,
got curly.
I was clean shaven then. I was 16 when this came out.
Oh, so you're barely old enough to see it.
Hey man,
Yeah.
back in
Not
those
even-
days, you could buy a ticket to the other movie and then just walk into whatever theater you wanted.
I remember
That's
not
if
wanting to
theater
see
cares.
it. I actually was not interested in seeing it. A friend of mine convinced me. He said, "Come on, let's just go see it." And then we came out, and I was like, "Oh my god, that was hysterical." I'm gonna go with X because Age has done this one many favors, and Billy Bob Thornton also rest in peace, Bernie Mac.
Right. There's a lot of mixed in the chat, but there's quite a few X's.
That's fair. I mean, people.
I'm
I
gonna
can
have a
see
hard
people
time
settling
budging
on
it from
A's.
that X because I do watch it nearly every year. CC, what would you say?
It's a great movie. I'd
I'm gonna
probably
give
go
you the
M
tiebreaker on this
just
one.
because it's not. I mean, I need to watch it again. It's been 3, 4, 5, 6 years, whatever, and how many time just flies, man. I'll defer to you. If you think it's an X, go for X. I would put it above.
I'm
Elf.
bouncing between M and X right now
Just
because
do M. Because there's enough people there. We gotta be fair here. There's not enough of an X to call it a landslide. I think M would be the fair rating considering how involved the cat is.
Actually a lot more A's than anything. So yeah, I think we're gonna move it down to M.
Okay.
All right, keep moving along here. We got Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, a movie I've only seen like once. I enjoyed it though.
I haven't seen it.
CC,
If I've seen it once, I forgot it.
I'm gonna throw it in the S category then. All right, now we've got a couple in a row here that are gonna be ones that I have a feeling we're gonna have a disagreement or two about. Maybe
Let's roll.
Wonderful Life. I'm sticking it at X.
This is
X.
the classic.
I watch it every
Dude.
fucking year.
And
Yes.
that made the very top X then.
I want to just word out what Clifton Duncan said about it recently, that it's one of those movies that it was definitely what he feels like was written basically with what he feels is a conservative slant, but he's a lefty and he says he loves this movie so hard that he basically ugly cries to it because it's so powerful of a story. A great story, but he's got a point.
I haven't heard the
A
term
great
ugly
story-
cry in a while. Sorry.
A great story transcends time, and this story is absolutely perfect. And it's not just one of the best Christmas movies of all time. To me, it's one of the best movies of all time. I will stand and head and shoulders, fight tooth and nail on that. It's a Wonderful Life. Should be a movie. Why people could get a good great life lesson out of it. Mess up my words here. You get my point.
Yeah, I don't think anybody can argue against that one. So Trading Places. Now this is the one that I personally associate more with New Year's.
Yeah, same here.
Although you do have Dan Aykroyd in a Santa suit for a good portion of the film. So I'm going to start it at M, but I'm going to listen to you guys tell me if it should stay or go. Let's start with you, Nick. You sound like you had
I'm
something to say
gonna
right
go
away.
with an A, and if on its own merits, I probably would give it an M. But as far as a Christmas movie, I'm gonna give it an A.
All right, so you wanted to go down to an A. All right, CC?
I just don't have a strong opinion about this one. I have seen it, but it's been too long, and I don't really think about it.
Well, we have somebody who hates this movie in the chat. Lord Amnesia. Lord Amnesia, yeah. How do you remember it if you're the Lord of Amnesia?
That was good.
We got a lot of M's and a couple A's.
That's tough. I don't blame people who
because the
who
M
pick
category is
them.
getting kind of loaded.
Yeah, it is, but we still got to be fair here. Like, no, look,
Yeah.
we gotta
All
load,
right, well, we'll leave
load.
it there for now because Christmas Story, I mean, 24 hours a fucking day for Christmas
That's
for
true.
several years. I can't put it anywhere else but X. What
Just
about you,
the
CC?
24-hour marathon on broadcast television of this movie over and over and over again. I've seen
Yeah, I think that clinches it. Yeah. Nick?
Which one again? Sorry, my brain.
Christmas Story, the original Christmas Story.
For me and X.
Yeah, well, I think that.
I know the
just
list is
clinched
getting
that one.
loaded, but
No, we're fine. That's fine.
Anytime it was on TNT, you bet your ass I play it on my TV all damn day long.
All right, so we got the Guardians Christmas special. Nick, I'm going to throw it to you since you're the comic book guy.
I'm gonna go with an A, because I did really enjoy it, but it's definitely not an X, and I can guarantee you time will definitely tell on that one. I think at best it might be seen as some as an F, but for me, I'm gonna go with an A. Oh, he hates
Okay.
It's a Wonderful Life. Hey, you
Yeah,
know,
that's what he was talking about. Gotcha. We stand corrected on that, my friend.
I'm gonna go with an A. So,
all right. Yeah, I can't. I love it too, but I can't argue against that. CC.
No, I got nothing to add.
All right. All right, Mickey Christmas Carol.
ooh, M. My only issue with it is that I have not seen it well, but there was a time, once upon a time, it was basically Ritual, and
yeah, I agree.
And that it had a great
too.
run of like what 15, maybe 20 years straight, and I think I just got to get back on it, and then the streak will reinvigorate.
Well, I think the problem is ABC doesn't show it anymore.
Oh, dude, that was a big part of it. ABC would have it on. It didn't matter. Like
I watched it last year on Disney Plus, and I think I have the Blu-ray now. But I would want to go X tier with this one, but throughout the years now, you're right. This is kind of fallen off a bit. So I guess I got to keep with M.
Yeah,
it kind of reminds me.
It's a great Christmas. It's a great gateway Christmas movie too. It's gateway.
It's my first Christmas Carol, but you were saying CC.
No, I was looking at an album yesterday that was one of my very favorite albums of the early 2000s, and it was always on the radio. It was just like it was constantly on the radio for a couple of years there. It's called The Soundtrack of Our Lives is the name of the band. And it's like people have just completely forgotten that band ever existed 20 years later. And sometimes it's just what it is. It doesn't mean it wasn't just an absolutely fantastic thing, right? That was the same with Mickey. I remember that. It was always on TV, right? And it was something I grew up with. But now we're 20, 25 years later. And even if it was amazing then, it's like it's kind of just faded from memory.
I'm sure if I put it on now, I'd still appreciate it. It's just I had to get back on the streak. That's all.
Yeah, we got a lot of M's, a few X's, a couple A's. And I mean, the only argument I'm going to make here is it's sadly, since it's not been carried over on television more often, and Disney has kind of kept it somewhat closer to the chest in the last 2 decades. It's kind of become more of a footnote of where basically the introduction of Uncle Scrooge to most people at this point.
I think Emma's a good spot for it. It was my gateway to an Uncle Scrooge too. It was my gateway.
All right, next one is going to be X category, unless somebody's going to argue me out of it. The Grinch, the original animated classic from Chuck Jones.
X.
Original Grinch? Oh, X, easily.
Yeah.
That's one of the ones where I grew up with it. Now I got kids who want to watch that too.
Yeah. All right. 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, the Rankin and Bass animated classic.
Haven't seen it.
Really?
Haven't seen it. It's not that I didn't want to. I remember seeing some of it, and I just never got around to it.
CC, you sound like you might have seen it.
I mean, I have. All I'll say is that it's not so ingrained in my memory as the other items on the X list right now, but it's also really like core. You know,
that's the problem. Is like they quit showing it on TV so much. Like Family Channel had the rights to it for a while, and it would still be on there, and it was one of the perennial favorites. I can still recite some of the
was.
songs.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, it really
even a
it's-
miracle needs a hand. They
Yeah.
even stole it for South Park. Yeah.
you can't not put it in next somehow, but it's been gone for a while.
I know, so I'm gonna slide it into the A category because guess what? It finally got released on Blu-ray last year. Yeah, in the big ass box set, they did a Rankin and Bass box set. Is it bass or bass? Somebody tell me in the chat. I always say it wrong, and then everybody yells at me for it. All right, next up, we've got Santa Claus the movie. This is one probably I don't know if you guys have even seen it.
Have not.
Dudley Moore, CC Karaoke. Do you remember it at all? John Lithgow.
No. Well,
Oh.
God, I actually. Oh, now that you say John Lithgow, and now I remember it, but I didn't remember it until you said that.
Yeah, where Dudley Moore's the elf that. If I
Oh,
remember right, he
God,
gets kicked
I gotta
out
come
of
back to this.
kicked
movie.
out of the North Pole, and then he goes down to the
John.
real
Anything
world,
with
and
John
he sells
Lithgow.
John
is goat.
Lithgow, the super toy
Yeah.
or whatever it is. Yeah, I saw it for the first time in many years last year on 4K, but it's just, yeah. So I'm gonna put that in the A category. I don't know if anybody else wants to argue against that for now. I watch it every few years, and now that it's back on disc again, it's available. But it's from the guys who produced Superman as well. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. Oh, and Tom's not a Dudley Moore fan. Oh. Yeah, it looks like A's the right place. We got a few A's. Based bass or based bass. All right, we've got I'm probably the only one who remembers this one, I bet. The Night They Saved Christmas.
Have not seen it.
Had Paul Williams, I believe Art Carney was in it, and young Scott Grimes was in it as well. So CC, have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
Okay, now my memory of it, it's about I think an oil company is gonna fuck up the North Pole, so they have to sabotage this oil company to save Christmas. It was on yearly for a long time, and then it fell off, so I guess we're gonna have to put it in the S category. Okay, Home Alone 2. Trump.
X. X.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like it gets the shorter end of the stick than the original, but it's
It
the one I
does.
actually watch more often.
It's
Really?
just as rewatchable. It's kind of got that whole Terminator Aliens effect where it's more or less like the first movie. There's slight tweaks to make it still familiar, except he still has to do the traps. He's still stranded, except this time it's in a city where he's alone versus a house. So there's enough differences where it's its own movie, but it's very similar enough where it's a very proper sequel, and it's held the test of time beautifully.
G-Man is mad. Oh no, I'm sorry. That's but we have a lot of X's and M's in the chat, so I'm gonna keep it there. I would probably have went M because I don't watch it every year,
Okay,
but I'll watch it every
That's
once in a
fair.
while after the first one.
It's
but,
like
yeah.
if I'm putting Home Alone 1 and 2 side by side, and I know
I did enjoy
it's
it
way
quite a bit as a
easy to
kid,
say
though.
the first one is the best, but I don't know. Like I laugh harder at the second one.
I was gonna say honestly, as a kid, I might have watched the second one more because you're right, CC.
Yeah.
Like that last 20 minutes compared to the first one is even funnier. Like the shit, but like those motherfuckers be dead like 30 times over.
Yeah, I know. It's
Like when he
kind of dark. It's
zapped
way
and
darker than the first
Oh,
in so
God,
many
yeah.
ways.
Yeah. All right, let's keep moving then. Alvin and the Chipmunks Christmas classic. This one I love. I don't know if you guys remember this one. This is the one where he
Oh,
gives
yeah.
his golden harmonica away. I watch it almost every year, so I'm gonna throw it in the. I'm gonna be generous and throw it in the A unless you're gonna argue for it to go a little higher there, CC. I think it
It's
should
a-
too, but
I hear what you're saying because it's not something that I just immediately find and watch. But
Mm-hmm.
I have very, very fond memories of it as a high quality.
I have it on DVD. But yeah,
Yeah, it's kind of hard to put it too low, you know.
I know I'm also more of a Chipmunk fan than most people are too. So I'll leave it in the A unless you think it should go any higher or lower, Nick.
I think A is good. It's
All right.
I really enjoyed it. The only thing that's hurt it for me is I have not seen as much as the others, even though I really enjoyed it. I hate saying that because the few times I've watched it, I've absolutely loved it.
It's also one of the few times Alvin isn't a selfish little prick.
Yeah, oh yeah, that stood out to me even when I was a youngin.
Yeah.
Even though everybody thinks he's being a selfish, that's the best part about it. Like that's when I love, like, and it's also the transition between Ross Bagdasarian and Junior. Because it was when he took over, the son took over, and yeah, and Chuck Jones actually did the animation for that too. All right, so we got the Albert Finney Scrooge film. This is the more memorable one. I think a lot of people would probably argue for the M or A category, but I'm gonna leave it to you, CC. Where do you think it should go?
I mean,
Have you
it's a
seen it?
wonderful. Well, so say it's a wonderful life is just kind of that fills that whole space for me. So
Mhm.
that definitely is the M, and that's where I kind of
Okay.
brought Scrooged down, but I kind of had to put this above Scrooged. If that makes sense. So
Oh,
if
so you put this
Scrooge
one
is an
above
M,
Scrooged. Okay.
if I'm just comparing the list on the list, then yeah, if Scrooged is an M, this has to be M.
All right, Nick. I can't really argue with that.
I think he said he had to be right back.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't even know if Nick's seen this one, but we'll leave it for him to argue if he comes back. I mean, we got a few X's and a lot of M's in the chat, so we're gonna leave it at M. All right, Garfield Christmas, another one I watch every year, and fucking
X.
damn near makes me goddamn cry every
X
fucking
plus.
time. Because I just watched it the other night.
This is one of
Every
the greatest
time.
of all time.
When Grandma goes and gives her little speech talking about Grandpa and how much, oh man, it just gets to me every.
In fact,
fucking
I'll
time.
go even hotter with this one and say I put this above Charlie Brown.
Oh,
Yeah, but I'm a
There's
Garfield
plenty of
fan,
X's.
so you know.
nice touch. I also love when Garfield's got to put the tree star on the top of the tree too, which is the poster there. See, so yeah, I don't think unless Nick wants to argue that one off of X, when he comes back, he's gonna be like, "What the fuck happened?" No, all right. So between this is another one that man, till recently was harder to find, but now it's on streaming in a few other places. But Ernest Saves Christmas, one of the greatest Christmas
Oh,
movies of
come
all
on, yeah.
time, as far as I'm concerned.
Why is it an M? I mean, I get it. Ernest isn't gonna.
Well, I was gonna say I think the audience would probably argue against it, maybe.
So see some X's in the chat for Ernest.
If we get a lot of X's, I'll move it up. We got 2 M's already.
I understand the M. I do. It's just it's Ernest, and it's it's top tier Ernest.
It is. It is probably the best Ernest film, actually.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I like Prison. I don't like Prison, but Ernest.
Somebody 6 isn't listening. She'll clip that. CC said he liked Prison. All right. Yeah, I think M is probably a good place for it. Unless
For
Nick
which
wants
one?
to argue. Ernest we're on right now.
I'm gonna go with an A. Good one.
Okay.
Haven't seen in a while though.
All right. And in between when you left, we had Garfield and Albert Finney's Scrooged.
Haven't
Scrooge.
seen Albert Finney Scrooge. Garfield, I would have gone probably an M.
All right. Well, they're neither one of them are moving then.
Okay.
All right. We're caught up. All right, here's
perfect.
one that I think people have kind of forgotten about. So I'm going to start this one in the S category, even though I love the film. Fred Claus. Does somebody want to argue for it to go higher?
I have not seen Fred Claus.
With Paul Giamatti and Vince Vaughn? You need to see that, Nick Weiser.
Yeah, do I? Okay.
Yeah, that's like a Toxic Tuesday movie. It's not as R-rated or anything like as Bad Santa, but it's basically Santa Claus has a really fucked up brother. Like basically like a drunk, depraved brother who can't get his shit together.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Vince
seeing
Vaughn, of
A's
course,
and
is the
M's in the
brother.
chat. I
Okay, so I'm gonna move it up, I guess.
I remember when it was like the previews and all that, and then for whatever reason, I just didn't bother seeing it.
I never hear anybody talk about it, so I just assume people either didn't see it when it came out because it didn't exactly do great.
Mm-hmm.
But anyhow, so yeah, I'm gonna leave it an A for now. I see a lot of A's in the chat, a couple M's, so I think A is fair. So let's move on because we got Miracle on 34th Street, the original. Okay, so this is one we were talking about before. The original, the remake is an A category, and we all agreed that the original is better. So I think throw it in an M, or does somebody say it should be in the X?
For me, it's really good. But as I've used, I'm sorry for sounding like a broken record, but there's just ones I like even more.
All right.
Yeah, I can agree.
All right, well, we'll keep moving. Die Hard 2. Now, here's my argument as to why Die Hard 1 is a Christmas movie, because otherwise, why the fuck would you set Die Hard 2 at Christmas when it doesn't make any sense?
Yeah, that solidifies the argument hard, man.
Yeah.
I agree.
But as far as a Christmas movie goes, I don't watch it every year like the first one.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think?
Oh boy. I'm gonna have to go with an A on this one. I hate saying that because it sounds like I'm dissing the movie. As an action movie, I'd probably go as a high A, lower M. But as a Christmas movie, this is an A.
I'm going to counter this a bit because this is a
Counter it.
4-star review from Roger Ebert. And
Yeah, but
he liked
Siskel
it.
was more right about it.
I don't know. I actually prefer it to the first
I understand why people. Oh, what? No. Okay.
Yeah.
Time out. I can understand people liking it, but I don't know about liking it better than the first one.
one.
Wow. You're gonna have to really convince me on this one, CC.
Well, I have to do a whole show on that one. I'm not going to say.
All right. Well, give me your short version.
Well, like
'Cause
I love the first one. I love that it's contained, and obviously, you know, I might like the third one the best.
Well, see
So
that I
we're
can't
getting to a
disagree
whole
with.
other thing here, right? It's I
right.
felt like as a franchise. I love the set work and the action pieces of the second one in the way that there were. Sometimes you get the sequel, it tries to go bigger and better and more bombastic, and it's just like, yeah, it's a sequel and it's easy to.
There's a
say
lot
that
of
the
people
sequels-
that think it should go higher too in the chat. So you almost.
But I mean, while
the
I
crowd on your
appreciate
side.
the contained nature of the first one, the second one went bigger, and like it's the way it used its set pieces, like the snowmobiles, the airport, and all that stuff. They landed it, they executed. Where if you get a kind of a shoddy kind of like try too hard sequel, those kinds of things wouldn't work. But that's
Yeah, I don't know. The chat's pretty split on that. It's kind of so I think we're just gonna leave it in the middle there where it's at right now. I think that's the best place to put it to keep most people happy.
fair
We're
enough.
getting close to the end of our list now.
We're
All
seeing
right,
the light.
there's
at
an
the
end
of
in
the
sight.
Yeah.
All right, we got the George C. Scott Christmas Carol. Now this one's a tougher one for some folks. This would have been the one I grew up with besides Mickey's Christmas Carol, because I didn't see Albert Finney's Scrooge until a little bit later in life. So yeah, I mean this one is a little bit more for me, but I'm gonna start it in the A category, and then you guys got to decide from there if it should go up, down, or all around.
A.
Well,
I don't
he
know enough
agrees with me.
about it.
Okay, so all right. So I guess it's staying in the A category. All right, now this is one that pisses me off that hasn't gotten a real decent release. I think it finally got a DVD at some point that I never was able to find. But the Claymation Christmas special, which would have been the debut of the California Raisins. Do you guys remember this or not?
Have not seen it.
What? All right, CC.
No, I haven't seen it either.
All right, well, I do seek it out it is on YouTube. And I do watch it almost every fucking year. Boy, I'm gonna leave this one up to the chat since you guys really haven't seen it. Let's give the chat
Let's let the
this
chat
one.
decide. We'll carry on. What's up, Mark D with the C?
Hey, Mark, how you doing? If I'd have known you were around, I would have sent you the link here, but we're almost done now. X M A. Okay, there we go. You guys decide on Claymation Christmas. Now, the next one, the first episode of The Simpsons, which was also The Simpsons Christmas Special. Where should this one land, guys? I actually do watch this almost every year.
For me, I'm gonna go with an M.
All right, yeah, I can agree with that. Like I said, almost every year.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Us.
I don't hold it in as high a regard as Garfield or Peanuts, but it's classic Simpsons.
It's one of the only ones I've watched multiple times on Disney Plus now because it's on there in HD. So yeah, I got to leave it on the M unless somebody's going to give me an X reason. Moving on to the next X, Gremlins. Somebody can argue me out of it. Good luck.
I think I'm gonna go with an X. I was gonna say, I mean, at worst, at like it's like if I had to go by the plus, middle, minus, maybe an M plus, but I'm just gonna go with an X.
He knows better. See,
Yeah, it's a solid F.
nobody wants to fuck. Oh, F, yeah.
Whoa!
Okay, Yellow Flash.
I'm joking.
Like that's even really an insult, but at the end of the day, no, like I've made the argument many, many times. If you want to hear my main argument for this, go watch the Flashcast from last year. I think I laid it out pretty good for why the movie's not only a Christmas movie, but an X-tier Christmas film, and most people watch it every year. So I think that's going to be a hard one to argue about. Jim Carrey's Grinch. How about that one, guys? Where do you guys place that one?
Ooh, this one for me gets an S. I probably would appreciate it more if I had not grown up with the animated one. I am such a purist of the anime movie. It's not a bad movie. It's not on its own merits. I'd probably even give it like a good 8. But you're talking about following up one of the animated all-time greats, which is an absolute X for me. Sorry, Jim.
There's a lot of A's
you
and
lose
S's
this
in the
one.
chat.
They're welcome to disagree with me on this one, but for me, the anime one or get the out.
I'm almost tempted to move it up because you know the one that because they usually get this one every year at like the local drive-in and stuff. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it off this time. I'm not gonna argue because the chat is mostly S's. So
Okay.
all right, now we
have
got some
it.
good uns.
Yeah. No,
Silent
I love
Night.
yeah.
Yeah, as I said, we'll leave it alone for now, unless you got a better argument. You're
No.
Canadian.
No, I say I love Jim Carrey. It's just maybe I expected more out of him, and that was part of it. You know.
I don't hate it. I actually like it quite a bit, but I feel like it had the wrong director. I think Ron Howard
exactly.
was the wrong
It's
director for it.
he could have been perfect.
I think Tim Burton
it was
would have
great
been the ideal-
casting. You know.
Yeah, the casting was great. Jim Carrey's amazing in it. I just think Ron Howard was the wrong director. I think Tim Burton should have directed it. Because Tim Burton clearly wanted to, because that's what The Nightmare Before Christmas is.
Yeah, and that
This is the
whole
Grinch that
that whole
stole
business
Christmas, yeah.
soured me on the movie before I even got started. So
Either way, that I think we're going to leave it there. So let's go with Silent Night, Deadly Night, the original classic, banned from theaters. I watch it every fucking year, but I'm going to put it with the M to start. CC, up or down?
no, that's fine.
Haven't seen it.
Oh my... Seriously?
I'm not gonna lie to you, Tom. I'm gonna be honest with everything I say.
Wow. Well, it looks like majority of the chat so far has agreed with the M.
I'd rather
A few
give it
A's,
an
but-
F knowing that I've seen it and feel that way than to lie and be like,
Garbage Day. Well, that's part 2. That's on here too, Captain Palsy. That's coming up. So that's the thing, you know, people like that one too. So, all right, we got Christmas Evil, the other alternative film. It's not a bad film, but it's not one I'd watch every year. I'm going to throw it in the S category unless either one of you want to make an argument for it to go up higher.
Haven't seen it.
It's different than Silent Night, Deadly Night. It's about a guy who literally thinks he's Santa Claus, so he goes around killing people who are bad.
Haven't seen.
All right. Let's see here. Nobody's saying much in the chat, so I'm going to leave that one. All right, now here's one. I'm going to probably piss some people off.
With
Oh, you didn't see what I did there? I just threw
I
that
saw what you
crappy-
did, but what? But so what's the problem?
It fucking sucks. I couldn't get through 5 minutes of it.
I've never seen it. I didn't care to see it. No disrespect to Benedict Cumberbatch, but he will never be the Grinch. So I never gave it the time of day because it's all about the original animated one for me. 2D animation, baby.
Yeah, it could be the best movie of all time. I had zero interest in it, and I don't have any.
I got
interest
a
in it.
couple F's, a no. We got one X. Somebody goes, which one? This would be the CG animated one that nobody saw, Mars Monkey Man. Benedict Cumberbatch was the Grinch. But yeah. Yeah, and then people are saying, why didn't he do an accent? So yeah, we got a lot of Fs. I don't think anybody's going to argue on that one, really, outside of the one X we got. Now, people were asking about this one. Trapped in Paradise. This is a classic. It needs a Blu-ray. You hear me, Disney? Dana Carvey. Nicolas Cage. John Lovitz.
Haven't
Kids,
How
you
have I
haven't
never-
seen it?
how
Oh
have
my
I- how
God,
did I
Nick, you
miss
have to
this?
see this.
seen.
I
You
haven't
guys
seen
have
it
not
either.
seen this movie?
No.
Okay.
I have not.
You've got Nicolas Cage,
Yeah,
John
you sold
Lovitz,
me.
and Dana Carvey are brothers, okay?
Uh-huh.
And like the one's a kleptomaniac, Dana is,
Mm-hmm.
and John Lovitz is a habitual liar. On top of it all. And they decide they're going to rob this town and they get stranded, or rob this bank in this small town and they get stranded trying to get the fuck out of town.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next weekend, this is the movie I'm watching.
It is hilarious as fuck. If you haven't seen it, check it out. I'm going to put it in the A for now. I don't see anybody.
Sad part is I've never even heard this one. And it's got
What?
people I would like. That's a sad part. It's got people I like. I like the idea of it. I just never even heard of
I'm
it.
more of a Christmas protector. Oh, shit. Yes, you should see that one. You definitely should. Oh, a lot of people are saying, oh, it should go higher. I know it's a cult classic. I know, I'm kind of surprised. I'm going to leave it on A, though, guys, for now. Let's see. We got The Long Kiss Goodnight with Gina Davis and Samuel fucking L. Jackson.
Another one that I've not seen. I'm starting to get
What?
to murky waters.
What? 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 Nick, this is your kind of movie.
Maybe it is.
You've never
Maybe
seen The
it
Long
is.
Kiss Goodnight.
I don't think I've seen this movie ever.
It's the one they always ignore when we bring up strong whammons. We're like, we've had strong female characters before done right. So they're like, all you guys ever say is Ripley and Sarah Connor.
I have not seen it.
Okay, you need to see this. Okay,
I
so
know. I recognize the post. No, this one I have heard of. I recognize the poster. I remember hearing about when it was newer. I just have not seen it. That's
we got a lot
unlike
of
the
M's
other
in the
movie.
chat.
I've at
I'm gonna
least
throw it in the
heard of
M.
this one.
I'm going to throw it in the M category because we got a lot of
Okay.
M's in the chat. Okay, so real quick, the premise is Gina Davis is a housewife, mother, and she has amnesia. So she doesn't know who she was before the life she lives now.
Mhm.
And then one day she kind of starts figuring it out. Let's just say she was a bit wild. All right. And the next one, Reindeer Games. Believe it or not, I have not seen this since it came out. I barely fucking remember it. I know the director's cut is supposed to be so much better than the theatrical. I've never seen it. From the version I saw, though, I didn't think it was all that great. I'm going to throw this in the S category. I think if certain people here, they probably argue against that, unless anybody else wants to argue here on the panel.
Nope.
The chat looks like it's
I-
pretty much
I
in agreement.
Need to come back to it. See the
We
director's
guys,
cut.
yeah, I've heard the director's cut so much better, guys, but I've only seen the theatrical, so.
I've only seen theatrical too.
We got a few A's, though, so maybe I should move it up, but I don't know. Our S tier is, I'm going to leave it in the S for now. We got too many in the A's. All right, because here's one that I would put in the X, but I'm going to leave it up to you guys. Fat Man with Mel Gibson. This has been a perennial favorite for mine since it came out now. I love this fucking movie.
Sadly,
Walton
I have
Goggins.
not gotten to this one, and I've been.
Oh, for
meaning
fuck's
to.
sake, Nick!
I know.
I
I know.
haven't seen it either.
We should be talking about this one on Toxic Tuesday, for fuck's sake.
Well, if it weren't for Bad Santa, we would be. But
All right, so you don't know the plot already. If you don't know the plot, basically
I know
a kid
the
gets
plot.
pissed that he doesn't get what he wants for Christmas, so he hires a hitman to go after Santa Claus. And Santa Claus, this ain't his first rodeo. Yeah, so it's a great
Oh,
fucking
shit.
movie. I'm going to put it in the M category.
I hear it's excellent. I've heard nothing.
we got a
but
lot of
great
M's in
things
the
about
chat,
it.
so
And that seems about right. I'm sure when I see it, I'm sure I'll love it. I'm sure I'll give it an M.
And then while we're getting down there, I'm going to get into these super chats. You guys have been waiting so patiently. Thank you so much for being here and the support. Kenneth Dowling sends in 5 and says, "Hi guys, just popping in to say hi. You better add Die Hard to the list because it is a Christmas movie. Take care." Well, it's in the X category, my friend. And then we got Dent Masterson who gifted 5 Midnight's Edge memberships.
Woo!
Wow, thank you. And Marks has been a member for 43 months. Thank you so much. Beat Bop Boop sends in a $1.99 and says, "Down the hall and to the left, Donald J. Trump, USA." That's right, in Home Alone 2.
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry it took me a bit to get to those guys, but you were really patient and I appreciate it. And yes, Die Hard is on the list. So let's keep it rolling here. Let me check in with our poll, what you guys have said. Wow. Okay. Claymation Christmas is going in the X category. Wow. A lot more love than I expected it to get. I'm actually pleased with that. So you guys remember it as much as I do. Awesome sauce. All right. So let's keep moving on. We got The Family Man with Nick fucking Cage. I don't think it's one of his better movies. It's okay.
I'm gonna go with an A on this one. I only saw it once. I enjoyed it, but I have enjoyed other Nicolas Cage movies far, far, far more.
CC?
I have not seen it.
Oh, okay. Well, he's a family man.
Yeah,
I'm going to throw in the S category
self-explanatory.
because I have not seen it only but like twice since it came out. Sorry, guys. So unless you think it should go higher, Nick.
Nah.
All right. 8 Crazy Nights.
I'm gonna go with an A on this one. It's fine. It's a solid Christmas movie, but
It's technically a Hanukkah movie, but yeah.
Yeah, it truly is. It is a Hanukkah movie, but it's fine. It's serviceable. It gets the job done. Maybe if I had seen it like as more of a gateway type of movie, I would have liked it more. But I'll stick with A.
It's not my favorite. For lack of more commentary on that, it's like I would watch any of his other movies before I'd watch that one. But it's fine. Like,
That's
again,
my biggest issue. Sorry,
know.
Sadie was bugging me there. That's my biggest issue is it's one of my least favorite Adam Sandler films. It's not one of his better
Then
ones.
just bring it down to S or F.
I mean, I don't know if
I'm gonna
F
do it.
is-
Fuck it.
Yeah, S.
No,
is
I'm putting it in the
probably-
S. Because it's a Hanukkah movie anyway. And Tater, you know what? I teetered around it, but I'd never seen it, and I don't know unless you guys have seen it. I don't know anything about it really. I know it just come out like a year or two ago, so I had to kind of make a decision on some newer quote unquote films. That's why like Red One isn't on here. Like I even almost didn't put Spirited on here. So it might get added to the list at some other point, I would say, but I have to see it, and some other people have to. It has to become more prominent, I guess. That's what I'm saying. Give it some time. So let's say Spirited. I haven't seen it, so I can't speak to this one. What about you
Haven't
guys?
seen it.
Nick?
Never. Yeah,
Or
haven't
CC,
seen it.
I mean.
Haven't seen it.
All right. Well, we're going to leave this one up to the chat then. Since
All
you
right.
guys have brought it up several times before in the past. Start a poll. Spirited. If I can spell it right. X. Oh, yay. Sadie's barking.
Who's in Spirited again? I don't remember.
Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell.
I can't even remember if I even saw a
right,
commercial
well.
for this. It's just it doesn't ring a bell for me in any way. Unlike let's just like Fat Man. Like I remember knowing about when it came out. I remember knowing about The Long Kiss Goodnight. But Spirited just does not ring one bell to me.
It was like an Apple. Was it Apple or Amazon? One of those.
Oh, was it a straight to
Yeah.
stream movie? Okay,
Well, I think it might have got a limited release, but Was Just Friends actually a Christmas movie? See, I don't remember that having a Christmas. Does it? Does it take place at Christmas? Maybe. It's been like 20 years since I've fucking seen it. No Con Air either, huh? I guess not. Well, we can possibly add them on here. We got time if we got time.
Con Air is a
here.
great movie.
Con Air is not a Christmas movie, though. It's
Yeah,
a great
I don't
movie,
know.
but it's not
All right,
Christmas.
Jack Frost with Michael Keaton.
Jack
Not the horror
Frost and
film.
Michael
I almost
Keaton.
put the horror film on here, but I opted out of it.
M for me.
All right, starting in the M category with that for Nick. What about you?
I just don't have a strong feeling for it.
I don't even know if this has a Blu-ray. I have not seen it in a few years. I remember watching it on like Netflix or something like that a few years back. So I think I'm going to bring it down to the A category.
That's fair.
Yeah. That's my vote. All right. And you said that's fair, so no argument there. Santa Claus 2. I did not like this movie.
If I had a list of most disappointing movies of all time,
S.
this would be on it.
S.
Oh, we got an argument for S.
It's not even that it was just slightly less good than the original. It was just so disappointing.
Between me and CC, I think it should go in the F category, but we
That's
got enough
fair.
people
I won't
saying,
argue with the
hey,
F.
No,
Here's
Nick,
why-
we got enough people in the chat. I'm going to put it in the S.
Oh, okay. Well, I was gonna say here's why I would put it in S, because I know the chat's overruling, but to me, it's the idea of a Grinch movie with Benedict Cumberbatch and Love Actually. I'd say it's better than Love Actually, so that's where.
That's completely fair.
I can
Yeah.
agree with that, and I think that stands. All right, here's a controversial one. I don't even know if you guys remember this one or not. Another Tim Allen Christmas movie, Christmas with the Cranks.
Okay, well, that's pretty good, actually. Had to come back
Based
to
on a
that.
book, but the author, if I remember right, disowned the film, if I remember correctly. We got a lot of A's already.
I'm
an
gonna go with
M.
an A. I'm gonna go with an A.
I haven't seen it in a few years, but I remember not hating it. So you're gonna give it an A, huh? All right.
I don't. I remember liking it. I remember liking
got
it, but I
2
don't
A's, an
remember
M,
being over
4
the moon
A's.
about it.
We got a lot of A's and a couple M's, so I'm gonna leave it in the A. All right. Almost there, guys. Now, Jingle All the Way should be in the
Oh,
X
yeah, come on.
category.
Yes, that is
X.
such an
We
end. That's one of
just
the greatest
watched it.
Schwarzenegger movies, period.
We just
that
watched
cookie
it a
down.
few days ago.
Now,
Oh, dude. Oh my goodness. That's a your wife's cook is so good. Turbo Man.
I mean, maybe
I
I'm
love
getting
you.
overly enthusiastic.
It's
on what
terrible,
probably isn't like the greatest
Sinbad
movie of
is
all
in it.
time, but it's
honestly,
bad.
I don't like it as much as everybody else does, but I know how much everybody loves it.
It's-
So
yeah, it's just full of
Dude.
all timers.
I watched it recently and it's still amazing. Oh, it's
there's
so
actually an
good.
extended cut on the Blu-ray and DVD I've never watched. I've only seen the theatrical version before.
This is definitely one of the ones I have watched the most. That's for sure. Jingle All the Way is probably, I'd say, as far as the ones I've watched the most, it's probably, I'd say, probably somewhere between 7 through 10 of ones I've watched the most of Christmas movies.
I mean, like
Yeah.
if I'm stepping back as an honest critic, it's not the greatest movie.
No,
but
no.
but it is, right? It's just
It aged very well. That's the
Yeah.
beauty of it. All right, Jim Carrey's Christmas Carol. I believe this is the last of the Scrooge films.
I remember going out of my way to not see this.
yeah, same here.
Did I
It was just-
gamble
I was
well?
not in
Honestly,
the mood.
I'm gonna be a dick unless somebody really wants to send
I
a super
just
chat and
remember
give me a good
seeing
argument.
seeing
'Cause,
this
yeah.
as a trailer, and I'm like, no, don't.
The only reason I would want to put it up even higher, even though I hate it, is it's actually probably the most accurate as far as closest to the book. But it has the same problems as the fucking Polar Express and all that shit.
And what's
But we got a lot of A's and S's in the chats. We got an M. It's great. All right. Fine. We'll put it in the S category then, since we have plenty of Scrooges. But you know what? I'm putting Scrooge in this category.
All right.
I made an executive decision.
We're going. You got it, boss.
Deck the Halls with Matthew Broderick and Danny DeVito. where they compete over the lights. Do you guys remember this one? This is actually on the same.
No.
I got like a double disc thing with this and Jingle All the Way in it.
I think I'm gonna go with an S on this one. I thought it was okay.
Yeah. All right. Have you even seen it?
One.
I
CC,
don't
or no?
think so.
Okay.
But I mean, with those two in the lead, I probably should. But
It's not bad. It's not as good as it could be, but it's not bad.
The idea of it was sounded great on paper. The casting was there. I remember seeing a preview of it, being intrigued by it, and then I saw it, and I was just kind of like, eh.
It's entertaining enough, but it's not like one I'd watch every year, even every other year. All right, here's a controversial one. This is the one I actually say is better than part 2, the Santa Claus 3.
I have not seen the
I
third
mean,
one.
Is that a really low bar there?
I know. Well, the beauty of it is you got Martin Short playing Jack Frost. That to
Yeah,
me
you know
is the
what?
part that really brings it up.
The miracle is that I actually bothered to watch part 3 after part 2. And I
you
can't
enjoy it?
disagree with you.
Wow,
that
we got
it
some.
was, I mean, it's a really low bar. But you're right. It's a better movie than the second one. It's just like
We got some people making an argument for it in the chat, so I think people agree with us on that one. See, I got it was really good, definitely better than 2. A couple of S's. So I think, shit. I'm gonna move it up into the A category
That's probably
since-
fair because it actually it's not so
because 2 is. I don't want to
infuriatingly
put it in the
bad.
same category as 2.
Yeah.
And
It's-
enough people made an argument not to
yeah.
put 2 in the F category, including Nick. All right, well, here's a controversial one. You know what? Hold off before we get to the controversial one.
Okay.
Let's see what the chat said about Spirited. All right, we're going to end the poll. You guys did not vote much on that one. It's going into the S tier, I guess. So there we go. Spirited. Now, here's the controversial one. Bad Santa 2. Not very much love for this film.
I
I'm gonna let
remember
Nick make an argument for it.
my argument is not going to be compelling. I remember seeing the trailer for it and saying, why? Why are you making this now? If you're going to make this, you should have rode on the momentum while Bernie Mac was still alive and the Billy Bob Thornton Bad Santa 1 was on a high note. And to me, it didn't even need a sequel. It was perfect as a one done. To me, the second one, I was just like, yeah, I can't wait to not watch this. So I purposefully avoid it because I like my life and I like my time.
Yeah, I skipped
We got a
it.
few S's. Okay, CC, what do you say?
No, I didn't bother.
I
So you
like
haven't even seen it.
I like
Yeah.
avoiding disappointment.
Honestly, I felt like this was a lot like you did, Nick. This one is very disappointing. I'm surprised we got as many S's as we do in the chat for it. So I guess we're going to put it in the S category. I almost was going to make an argument to put it in the F category. But I guess at least it's not as bad as these other films. That's the only argument I can make for it. All right, here's one that's actually kind of popular. The Year Without Santa Claus. That's where the Mr. Freeze song comes from, if I remember correctly.
I have not seen this one.
Really? Okay. CC,
Yeah.
have you seen it?
I
The
have
Rankin
not even
Bass.
heard this one.
No, I haven't.
All right. Well, I'm going to make an executive decision because a lot of people like this one because of the music. It's one of the more popular Rankin Bass ones. I'm going to put it in the A category. All right. Here's one that I watch every fucking year, but I don't know if anybody else does. Mr. Hanky's Christmas Classics.
I've only seen this one once. I enjoyed it, so I'll stick with an A.
I'm just not a fan of Mr. Hanky. It's like I
Oh,
skip all that
okay.
shit. It's
Literally?
fine. I get it. Like, you're welcome to love him and Towley and all that shit. It's just
You're a
it's
towel.
not my favorite part of South Park.
You're a towel, CC.
But yeah, whatever.
All right.
I'm not going to argue against you.
Got a few A's, a couple F's. What? Seriously, guys? What's wrong with you? Couple S's.
It's like I love South Park, but there's just a few running gags that I'm like, oh god, guys. What you know?
Sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's not. It won't go in the toilet. You just got to shake your ass and then it falls in the toilet. It finally does.
Okay, that's not bad.
It's Mr. Hanky, the Christmas poo. Season's greetings, I love you. So vicariously, he loves you too. He's a piece of poo. All right. This one was yours. This is that anime film.
Oh yeah, Tokyo Godfathers.
Tokyo Godfathers. All right, so
like it depends on how we're looking at this list because I know that it's way too overlooked. But if you appreciate Studio Ghibli, if you appreciate like Japanese animation at a very high and mature and heartfelt level, you do want to check this one out. It's kind of like one of those make you cry movies. And it's not one that I come to every year. It's not one that's just in front of me. But it is one that it's like I'm not gonna forget about it, you know.
All right. Well,
That's
I mean, it
why
does
I
have a
brought it up.
Christmassy poster. I mean, so I couldn't argue with you.
So, I mean, like the appropriate place is probably to put it in A, unless the chat has seen enough of it, you know, to give a more.
I got some not familiars. I
it's-
haven't seen it, never saw it.
Well, that's
from
just it,
Sander.
right? Yeah. Chances are more people have not seen it than have. But I wanted to put it on there just to bring it up as, hey, you know
Well,
what?
wait a minute now. Would this be a remake of the Three Godfathers John Wayne movie? I even forgot about that one. Unless that one might even be based on a Kurosawa film or something I don't know about.
The inspirations, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I got Mecca
right.
J's calling it an X, and it's like that's where I'm just saying it's like it really is an absolutely fantastic movie out of Japan in animation, right? It's just how like if we're rating it on how present it is in our lives and our culture, it's been unfairly forgotten, you know.
All right, well, I don't think there's enough either way to move it from where it's at. I think A is probably the best place where it lands.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning. It's like you're looking for something. If you're into anime and you haven't watched it, it's on your Christmas list. You know.
All right. Then we got Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2. It's Garbage Day.
Haven't seen.
Honestly, this movie's like an F.
And the one after that, Silent Night with Joel Kinnaman, I haven't seen either. Or I remember wanting to see the Joel Kinnaman, but yeah, the next two I've not seen.
Okay, so this one I'm gonna have to make the decision on. Look, the movie is not very good, but it's such a fucking meme that I think we're gonna throw it in the ass category. Here we go. All right, and then you said you haven't seen Silent Night. I haven't either. I have it. I plan on watching it this year. I haven't got a chance to see it yet.
Yeah,
CC,
I
have you
like
seen
the
it?
trailer for it.
I have not.
Remember, he's like a special ops guy or whatever whose voice, because of an accident, or he gets his throat cut or something like that. Yeah. And I guess it's a Christmas film, so that works into it too. But it's not related to the Silent Night, Deadly Night films. So yeah, I'm not so sure on this one. So let's leave it up to the chat on this one again. We're gonna give this one to you guys. Start a poll. Silent Night, and I believe it came out last year, so it'd be 2023, right? If I'm not mistaken. Where's the 2023? All right, give me 1 second here. I know this is not good television or radio for that matter. And there we go. All right. So next up, we have the Christmas Chronicles 2. So I haven't seen the first one or the second one, so I'm leaving it up to you, Nick, because I think you were the only one who had seen it before, if I remember right.
Major step down. I'm gonna go with an S.
All right. I don't see an argument
Once,
against it.
never cared to see it again. I hear there's a third one coming.
Yes.
They better give.
That's the only
Kurt a
reason I
good
put the
script.
second one on here.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I got nothing to
Let's
add.
keep moving. The Cricket on the Hearth, beloved classic, Rankin and Bass as well, I believe. Yeah, I think they produced it, but I think Chuck Jones did the animation for it, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it's a classic film, or classic short, whatever you want to call it.
I
Am I
remember
the only
that.
one here who's seen it? Or you have seen it?
I've seen it once. I remember liking it, so I'll give it an A.
All right, we got a lot of S's in the chat, so I think, yeah, it's not one I've watched every year. It's not one of my. It's kind of, it actually overstays its welcome quite a bit. I'm gonna put it in the S category. It's a little stuffy and overlong. Then we got another Rankin and Bass classic, Nestor the Long-Eared Donkey.
Have not seen this one.
Really? Oh, it's a cute one. It even got a sequel. CC?
No idea what this is.
Wow. You guys are breaking my heart. Breaking my heart. We got some M's for Nestor in the chat. He's getting
Could
some
be 'cause
love in
I'm
the chat.
Canadian. It's a
That
slight
might be.
excuse.
We got some M's for him, though. Got an A. I never heard of it. Bass like the fish. Okay, thank you, Jeremy. Got an X. Wow, and an M, another M. Another M. All right, well, I think we're going to put it in the M category then. Sorry, guys. I know you haven't really heard of it, but
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, if people like it, that's ultimately what matters. If there's a
Where
lot
the
of people
fuck
like
they go?
it,
There
and
it is.
we on the panel, both of us have not seen it, ultimately matters is if a lot of people are seeing and they like it.
I'm going to have to make this screen a little smaller so I can start fitting shit.
Well, we're
All right,
almost
we've
at
got
the very end.
all right, guys, the Snowman. This is one that I think Brian brought up before. I do remember it vaguely. I've seen it like once or twice. I remember I remember the commercial for the videotape more than I remember
Yep.
the movie, though.
And there's a sequel too, which is a sequel as well.
So I'm going to throw it in the S for now.
You know, I'm going to give a good, strong rating at an M, actually. I think it's
Yeah, it
a
looks
really
like some people saying
wonderful,
X.
heartfelt story. And it's very minimal if not, it's very minimal dialogue. I like of course, the traditional animation. It's got a really great, powerful ending. I think it's wonderful. I'm going to go with an M. The only thing that's preventing me from giving it an X is just that it was something I kind of caught on to a little bit more later in my life. I'm sure if I'd grown up with it more, I probably would give an X. But for all those who give an X, I can see why you would.
I feel like one of these movies in our M category should be in the X.
Which one?
My votes are for either Santa Claus, Elf.
Wait, we didn't put the Santa Claus
Or Ernest.
In it.
No, the Santa Claus should
why
be in
did
the
we not
X.
put the Santa Claus? Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it should be 2. You're probably right. I thought it was 2, maybe. I don't know why. I don't know why we
hairs over like Home Alone.
We were splitting hairs over it.
Yeah.
So I think now we're gonna put it in the X category, just because I said so.
Yeah,
Because it just feels right. I feel like the M category was getting too overloaded. So is the A category, but
I noticed too, like the Snowman is not the one people are the most familiar with, but the ones who do know it, know it's absolute quality.
They love it. Yeah.
They love it. And it is so good. Even though it's really short, it is so freaking good. The Snowman is awesome.
All right. Here's the 2 that everybody's been waiting for. The Star Wars Christmas special.
Oh, that's totally an X. Come on.
Okay, so we got 1 vote for an X.
I'm joking.
Okay, so you were joking. I'm going to throw it down here in the A category for now. Well, and see, I don't feel bad about making the middle fat, because like the middle's fat. That's fine.
The middle's supposed to be fat.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, the Star Wars Christmas special is timeless. I mean, it's literally
Lord have mercy.
I'm gonna go with an F.
Oh, Nick's going with an F.
Yep.
Wow.
I mean, it's an X and an F at the same time, right?
We got so many X's and
very disappointed.
I'm leaving it in the A category because everybody's all over the fucking place on this one.
That's fine. That's fair.
I'm gonna do that. All right. So this is the one Nick wanted, and if you Yeah, Wookiee porn, basically. Invasion USA, Nick. So make your argument as to where it stands as a Christmas film.
As a Christmas movie, I'm gonna go with an A. As a Chuck Norris action movie, X.
Whoops, wrong one.
I think the arguments are kind of weird with Invasion USA as a Christmas movie, but man, is it one of Chuck Norris's best movies? It's got it. There's no story to it. It like don't try to think about the point of Invasion USA. It is a paper thin story, but who cares? It's still a rollicking good time that people should watch it. It's one of those things where everyone should be at least have one Chuck Norris movie in their life, and one of them should be Invasion USA. It's so good, and for a point in time, it was very hard to find on streaming. Very hard.
I have not seen it.
All right. So we're going to leave it there. And while we're waiting for Silent Night, Silent Night, not Deadly Night, just Silent Night, I'm going to add one more to this because I was thought about this one. Wasn't sure if I was going to bring it on because it only had been on television like once or twice or a couple times, but it's beloved as fuck. It's one of the few times all of the Muppets and the Sesame Street Muppets are together. It's called a Muppet Christmas, Muppet Family Christmas. I don't know if everybody here has seen it or not. It is on YouTube now. Somebody went and converted it on YouTube. I feel like if it was available or more readily available, it'd probably be watched more. But I'm going to throw it in the S to start with. Anybody else?
I haven't
even
seen
remember it.
I mean, you're telling me the Muppets and Sesame Street got together?
Yeah.
Back when they were good?
Yeah.
Oh, then it must be.
Yeah, this
good.
came out like circa 85, 80,
oh,
something
shit.
like that.
That's wow.
Somewhere in there, maybe a little sooner than that.
I mean,
so we got some arguments. 87,
I
okay.
should watch it. I haven't seen it.
It's on YouTube. So it's you can find it on YouTube, but I think it's been released on DVD once. But I don't think it's on like Disney Plus or anything like that, which it should be. But yeah. But basically it had all the Muppet characters and all the Sesame Street characters together as a Muppet Family Christmas. That's right, Kitty. Knock some more shit over. All right. So with that, I don't see any arguments in the chat, really. I mean, a few people want it in the X and other places, X or M. Unfortunately, the availability is the problem. All right, I'll throw it up in the A category because there's enough people who want it higher. I'll be nice.
Keep the middle fat.
That's right. Keeping the middle fat. All right. So let's check out our chat here. What you guys say for Silent Night? Well, you give it in the S category. So we're going to throw Silent Night in the S category. So there is our tier list, guys. And yeah, the reason I did bring up a Muppet Christmas shouldn't be forgotten. Thank you, JD. That's the reason I brought it up. And thank you for the $2. And I debated on this one, ActionCom. Should we bring the ref into this one?
I don't see it as a Christmas movie. Good movie, but don't see it as a...
It does
Christmas
take place
movie.
on Christmas Eve, though, doesn't it?
Oh my! I'd say I have to actually think about that in order to remember that.
I do remember it's like a Christmas party or or family dinner. And Ron, Harold and Kumar is on here, but Emmett Otter's Jug and Christmas from Jim Henson. I've never seen it. I know some people know of it, but I've never actually seen it. And that's kind of the same problem with the ref is a lot of people haven't seen it. It has Kevin Spacey, Dennis, what's his name? Dennis Leary. Or no, not, is that what I'm thinking of? Who the fuck's in it? Somebody needs to remind me if I'm right. Mixed Nuts was another one that just so many people haven't seen. I don't even remember anything about Scent and a Woman taking place at Christmas. I guess that was my bad. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is a Thanksgiving movie. Dennis Leary.
I mean, I always forget whether it's Thanksgiving or Christmas because it feels Christmas somehow. But yeah, it is Thanksgiving, right? It's like you can remind me 100 times and I still have to be reminded that it's Thanksgiving. Last Christmas, I did watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles with the family.
See, I mean, I can see an argument being made since a lot of people do watch it.
It
I've
is
even
it is a Thanksgiving movie, but yeah, I said on Toxic Tuesday, I've somehow watched it more closer to Christmas than I do Thanksgiving, even though it is a Thanksgiving movie.
And we had that conversation in the room. I was like, I think my sister was like, or my mom was like, "Isn't that a Thanksgiving movie?" And I was like, "Nah, it's a Christmas movie." So we watched it and we had a great time.
Yeah. I mean, all right. There's enough people in the chat. The one that seems like that people are upset enough about is the ref. So I'm gonna add the ref. And we're gonna put it in at the S category. So there you go, guys. I think we got a pretty good list here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So
I got
looks
a
like a
reference.
we
really
missed
nice
anything else
list.
that shouldn't be on here, I guess.
I feel like I like the accuracy of the A and the S because it shows though, like there's a lot of movies that not everything on that list is not particularly bad. It's just a lot of them is stuff that's just not as Christmassy. And then of course there's stuff that just doesn't stand up to the X's and M's because the X's and M's is straight up streaks of greatness.
That's fair. And we had to kind of balance it a little bit with how much we actually have awareness of the movies. They're in front of us. We're actually watching them all the time. Yeah, I'm going to look at this list over Christmas. Find out what I want to watch with the family.
Probably a good idea. There you go. All right, so let's see here. We got Kalekioki with $5 says, Tom, move up Batman Returns. It not being on the same tier as Die Hard invalidates the list. Well, I don't know about that.
That's where we're kind of splitting hairs with stuff. It's like, I mean, as a movie, Batman Returns is X.
You can
right?
still take Christmas out of Batman Returns and everything could still play the same and it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
The only thing that would really change would be the tree ceremony, to where Die Hard, it's a bit different. And this is where some people, I know they really get into the nitty gritty about it. But like I say, look, it can't be any other reason than Christmas. And it has everything to do with Christmas because that's why John McClane's coming all the way across the country.
He needs to come home for Christmas.
He's coming home for Christmas. He's missed how many birthdays and everything else at this point.
His marriage was at a tough spot, and he wanted to make sure he can make things right in time for Christmas.
You know, and not only that, it also makes
Eyes
sense
wide shut.
that the building would be empty on Christmas, less security. All the important people they need there are there. Plus being Christmas, it also makes it harder for the cops to get there when they do. So there's a lot of reasons why Christmas is a big part of it. And, at the end of the day, to me, it has more to do with the plot than Batman Returns. And that's why Kalekioki, I don't know. You know what though? Since you sent 5, tell you what.
He just bribed you.
He did.
Hey, like,
he did bribe
anybody
me.
in the chat
like we should
who's
have some more
seen
X's
Tokyo
anyway.
Godfathers said M or X
I think it looks
exclusively.
good as
I would
it
put it
is.
there too, right? But
we're all not going to agree on our individual thing. I think the X and M is proportionately balanced because there's ones that we had our stuff like it's hard to say about stuff like A Christmas Story Christmas because it's a great movie, a great sequel even. But one thing I feel like time is going to be the ultimate deciding factor in that one. And then we were all extremely divided on the Polar Express. We're either hard X or M or hard A and S. Like it's gonna happen with stuff like that. And then you look at stuff like Invasion USA, which I love. Huge Chuck Norris fan, but to me, I don't envision Christmas when I watch it. It just doesn't come to mind.
That's why the A category is fine. These are not bad movies in the A's. Some movies probably should be higher. Some might be lower, but they're in A for reasons, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we made a pretty good list. Yeah. I like it.
We should do another list, Tom. This is fun.
Oh, I think we're gonna do it. I don't think we're gonna do it on our regular MEAD times.
We don't have to.
This is just this will be something. We're gonna work this in as a replacement for the top 5 because it's a lot easier to handle.
It is.
Yeah. I mean,
and then I
putting
can
in like
surprise you
10, 15,
guys.
20
Yeah.
hours of work for one show was
Yeah,
a
it's
bit
just too much.
overwhelming.
And then this way I can just kind of come up with an idea quick and then throw some movies in here and then surprise you guys basically with it, or you guys can give me ideas and we can go from there.
Mhm.
Yeah, 6 years, probably not wrong, except for maybe a couple movies. Surprised, it's one of the few nights that he wasn't able to show up tonight, but yeah, I think Price would have made some arguments against a lot of these films. Who knows? But then again, a lot of the classics, I think he has a lot of a soft spot for. So, because I was surprised to find out how much he loved The Wizard of Oz. Kalikioki asked Christmas song tier list next. Maybe, if I can figure out a way to do that visually. See, here's the thing: is for me, there's still work involved with this, just not as much work as the top 5 list, right? Like I had to go get all these images, so I have to first of all remember them all and then get the stuff together. But then other than that, that's the hard part.
For most things, you can just like plug in the search and add it, right? If it's already there, somewhere
It doesn't
in the-
have
in the
them on
database.
here. I mean, unless you guys can find me a better tier maker thing, like I had to come up with all like
Ooh.
the way this works is I had to just throw in my own files, I guess. So
Okay, that's a lot for 85. 86, 87, yeah.
I did it in under an hour. So I mean,
Okay, still. Yeah.
because like I said, I had 90 minutes to figure it out. I spent the first 30 minutes doing shit wrong to try and figure out how to make a list, and then I figured out how to make a list, and then I
Right.
spent up until the show making the list. So
It'd be fast.
you kind of saw the progression as because I kept sending them the list to you guys to say am I missing stuff, and you guys would throw in a few things. But yeah, all right. I think that's gonna work. I really wish I'd have known you were gonna be free, Mark, because I know normally you're not around this time, but I would have brought you on. Well, let me know next
Mark.
time you're free.
Oh, the whole original series, episode by
Mark
episode.
would be a great addition to a future list. That's for sure.
TOS, maybe we'd have to almost maybe go. Oh gosh, I don't know. I haven't seen them in that much. We could do the movies. Should definitely do the movies. And maybe we could throw this like the movies, and then we maybe could do a series by.
I could do
I don't know,
episode
that'd
by
be short.
episode with Next Generation or Deep Space Nine.
See, that's the thing. That's a lot of episodes.
Yeah.
That's a lot. I mean, this was kind of a big ass list. Like from here on out, I'm looking at we might need a list or 2 per episode because we'll do smaller, more direct lists. Because like we do like so like we do maybe we do like the Star Trek movies and the Star Trek series all in one episode is 2 separate lists. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yes.
Like, and then the big argument is Galaxy Quest considered a Star Trek movie. Most people do consider it.
Yeah.
And it is owned by Paramount now.
Would have loved to have seen the sequel before Alan Rickman died. It's one of those times where things got caught up in the tangles for way too long.
I know that sucks because they were full speed ahead on that too, and it
Oh,
sounded
yeah.
like it was going to be really good. And it was an
There was
Amazon
I got a
series or
few stories,
whatever.
a few thoughts, like Neil Blomkamp's Alien 3.
Oh God, yeah,
Oh, I wanted to see that so badly.
yeah. When we talked
Yeah.
to his wife for a little bit, but that was one of the few things we really couldn't ask much about.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Well, because they had and the reason that is not so much that it's just that she and him have their own kind of career. They do stuff and they have worked on stuff together. So she's like, the stuff we work on together, I can talk about and I will talk about, but we have this like respect thing where he doesn't talk about my aspect and I won't talk about his aspect because she like works as a writer. So like if I've wrote anything or whatever, you can ask me about it. But she didn't work on Alien. She didn't work on RoboCop. So we couldn't really ask her much about those. We asked her a couple things off the record, but like, yeah, I can't get into that obviously.
Oh, totally fair. Some things we'll never know about.
But yeah. And Eric Wimberg in the house sending in $5. How you doing, Eric? Says, I approve of this best Christmas content. Well, thank you, Eric. We appreciate that. Yeah, it's kind of a slow news day. Although JT did get sued. that was something to. I was like, I've been on a commission almost practically for the last 48 hours as far as internet goes, up until this afternoon, and then all of a sudden I get in there last night and this afternoon going, what the fuck's going on? Everybody's getting sued and shit.
Mm-hmm.
JT Smash is who I'm talking about for those who don't know. I've streamed with him on a few places before. Or Smash JT, that's how you say it, sorry. I knew what I meant. I'm being dyslexic tonight. But no, 2 hour show. You guys squeezed a big show out of us. Wow. thank you so much for the
that's
support,
good.
guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this. I know we didn't have as big a crowd as we normally do, but not much news going on, and I didn't really want to sit here for like 5 minutes and not talk about much. So, and you guys didn't really throw anything else at us. So,
If
I
you
know, Rise
build
of the
it,
Guardians,
will
is that a
come.
Christmas movie? Oh, that has Santa Claus in it, doesn't it? I've never actually seen it though.
Got
And then
nothing.
there was that Christmas pageant movie, but since it's a brand new movie, that was why I left that one and the other ones off that were kind of newer, other than Silent Night and some of the other ones. But yeah. All right. Well, let's wrap this up. Why don't we? Nick, what do you got going on?
Oh, let's see. Well, it looks like there's no TNT tonight, so obviously
there
Klobby's comic shop, yeah, comics and Gary Nerdrotic and of course Mrs. Nerdrotic are all seeing Jordan Peterson tonight. So no show tonight, but I'll be Klobby's comic shop tomorrow night. It's gonna be fun. Toxic Tuesday, Bad Santa, and I've got a 10 best metal albums coming of 2024. So that should be out
Oh,
next
shit.
week. It's gonna be diabolically huge. I have it all assembled. I've just gotta hit that record button, and it's gonna be so diabolical. You guys are gonna like seriously. Member stream next week as well. Next Wednesday night member stream. So it's gonna be huge.
Yeah, we
But
should
yeah,
be
this
getting
is-
one of those soon too.
this
Yeah.
this is a really fun show. I had a great time doing this, and also good to have discussions on what we agree and disagree on with Christmas movies, and hopefully this will all inspire you to go watch one as well.
Indeed. So yeah. CC, what you got going on?
I'm just gonna survive Christmas and make it to the New Year. That's my plans.
Sounds like fun. All right. So with that, I want to thank everybody and take care of yourselves and each other. And until next time, see ya.